Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Week in Wrestling episode number 24. My name is Kurt, alongside RK, who's here but not here, but he'll join us here momentarily. There he is. RK, welcome to the show. This Week in Wrestling episode number 24. How are you doing?
CM Punk. I think he can still go. We'll talk about that later. But maybe it's just work environments, will affect how a person, acts and behaves at times. We all know that. Other than that, it's the first weekend has passed. I started the renovation on the den yesterday.
Yes, you
I
did.
did some more work today. It's gonna take me a really long time because I work doing the same shit for a living. So doing it on my free times, not all that much fun, but it's gonna be sick when it's done.
I'm excited to see how it turns out. So we'll eventually, we'll probably do a big reveal. Boom, big reveal. I'm a pickle. Shout out to Rick and Morty. Don't know why I was in my head because that's what I fell asleep watching earlier today. I'm rambling at this point, but we're ready to rock and roll. We have full slate today from the news, the rumors, and innuendo, your weekly shows, and of course, as you can see on your screen, Bad Blood in Atlanta, main evented by, sadly, not CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. We'll have that conversation when we get to it. What should have main evented? I think me and RK can both sit here and probably agree that Punk and McIntyre should have main evented Bad Blood. But they didn't. It was the main evented, of course, by Cody Rhodes' team with Roman Reigns taking on Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. We'll dive all into Bad Blood, talk about what happened, what we thought, how we felt, as well as looking forward to the future and what the outcomes bring in that. But of course, before we dive into all the weekly show recaps, it's everybody's favorite segment. It's RK's favorite segment. It is time for the news. This is episode 24. This is our week of September 30th through October 6th. The top headlines from the Top Renegades newsletter coming soon to a mailbox near you. Rumors have it. Yeah.
I already do so much, man. Why?
Yeah, it's
Why?
just one more.
If all our
AEW.
subscribers send us their mailing addresses, I'll be sure to send you a newsletter.
It'll look just like this, and it'll just give you. It's all for good fun, but take it how you want. These are direct quotes sometimes from RK sources. He's working overtime getting these sources to feed him some information, and we start with this AEW Shockwave. This is, I assume, Eric Bischoff's quote. Am I wrong on that, or am I correct?
No, you're
Bischoff?
not. You're very correct.
All right, this is Eric Bischoff. Does anyone in their right? Oh God, we're just right off with it. Does anyone in their right fucking mind think that Fox Network is going to go? Well, we couldn't make SmackDown work with 2.5 million viewers, but man, that Rampage or that Collision show. Direct quote from Eric Bischoff there.
So that was on his 83 Weeks podcast recently. It's just an expert, but I'll go through the whole thing. He talked about Shockwave. On the possibility of AEW landing Shockwave on Fox. It's not going to land on broadcast television. That's a fantasy. Look, Swerve I understand. He's excited. He's out there promoting his company. He just got a big contract renewal. He's doing what he should do in promoting the company he works for. And I admire that. I think he got a little ahead of him. I think he got a little ahead of his. Who the fuck says that? Eric? Seriously, dude, you're old. That's an old saying. I think he got a little ahead of his skis by suggesting, and he did suggest it.
Why would you just not? He got a little ahead of himself. That would have worked.
Yeah, no, it's an old time saying. He's showing his age.
Okay.
And he did suggest that Fox Network didn't renew SmackDown. That delivered about 2.5 million, 2.3 million viewers a week. And they're going to replace it with AEW product that can't find 600 or 700,000 viewers a week. And Rampage and Collision, we were looking at 300 or 400,000 per week. Does anyone in their right fucking mind think that Fox Network is going to go, well, we couldn't make SmackDown work with 2.5 million viewers, but man, that Rampage or Collision show, And this new one they're coming out with, let's do that. I understand why Swerve did it. He got excited. He's emotional. He's doing what he should do. but that was a bad take. I don't see it, no. And to think that it could happen is a reflection of lack of information and knowledge, aka ignorance. Then he went on to talk about where it could air. He said, so Monday is out by default. Tuesday is NXT on CW Network. That's kind of out. They've got Wednesday and Thursday, I guess, is a possibility. I don't see Friday for a lot of reasons.
Okay. Interesting. And you had mentioned Swerve.
Bish Bischoff giving his take on it. This all led from something Swerve, which you'll get to here shortly,
Yep.
but said earlier this week as well.
Yeah, and we'll get to that real quick just to kind of put the pieces together here. This is from Swerve Strickland. He was doing a podcast, or he was at somewhere talking to someone. I forget what it's from, but I did see this. This is Swerve Strickland speaking. We're about to move. We're about to get on Fox because SmackDown's leaving Fox, and then we're taking Fox, TNT, TBS, and Fox. We got all three of them things. Tony Khan lets me do whatever the fuck I want. I know we joke around with quotes, but that is actually what he said, correct?
That is legit what
Yeah.
he said. So Sean Ross Sapp then went on to say he wishes he could take it back. That was not intentionally leaked. I'm told that he did not know there was a phone, that a phone was in the vicinity, and you could tell. I would say maybe more ominously filmed, saying that somebody was sneaking in on a private conversation.
The video was pretty
I'm not
clear
saying
that he
like
was-
from a sneaky perspective or anything like that. Yeah, you are actually. Sean Ross Sapp's an idiot. He said, I would say maybe more ominously filmed. I'm not saying like from a sneaky perspective or anything like that. That's what? Ominously
ominously
filmed is from a sneaky perspective. You dumb. Okay, anyways. It's just he was a little oblivious to a phone being there. He was talking with a friend. So he was just talking with a friend, and that's what he said. Either
I
or.
I can say that he's a professional, Swerve. Most professionals I have interacted with are very aware of their surroundings in certain situations. And I'm speaking from a guy that is a producer of racing. And I was in Florida at a racetrack and I had my phone out, and a lower named race car driver was very aware that my phone was out. And the quote was, "Hey, make sure you don't record any of this," because we were having a good time. I think most people are very aware. I think Swerve would have been aware. I don't know. It's He shouldn't have said that. He shouldn't have said it.
No, it shouldn't have said that. But I almost wonder if Tony Khan's like in all of his talent areas. Oh, we're getting Fox. We're getting Fox. It's happening. We're getting Fox.
What blows my mind is the end of the quote. It's him saying Tony Khan lets me do whatever the fuck I want. That's just a wild statement. Like to me, that's crazy. And
Well, a lot of talent have gone on record of saying that they have free reign to all their promos, all that stuff. It's free reign.
I don't know. Maybe it's the way he said it that made me go, "Whoa, interesting." I've actually probably said the same thing, to be fair, about my work, but not.
My boss
and
lets me do whatever the fuck I want.
You're your own boss.
Well,
It
doesn't make my statement any less true.
Fair. Yeah. Interesting from Swerve. I'm assuming he'll be back soon.
There's
AEW.
rumors that it'll be Wrestle Dream that he'll pop back up.
It's in his hometown, so that kind of makes sense. One more headline here, October 27th, 2024. Why October 27th, 2024? Is that when
read the damn fucking headline? Jesus Christ.
In my
I
defense,
don't screw up. Dude, are you thinking I screwed up?
Well,
I don't screw up. I don't. Never.
I thought that would have been the date of when it happened. Anyway, the recent vignette on NXT this week was indeed for the Australian wrestler Delta. There were rumors, if you recall, a month-ish back that WWE had signed Delta, who was some compared to the next Rhea Ripley. That the vignette was intended for Delta. The 1027 on the highway sign seemed to indicate that she will appear on the Halloween Havoc PLE. Again, WWE continues to prove that the NXT Women's Division cannot be touched, which is true. The NXT Women's Division is the best in pro wrestling, without a doubt in my mind. I don't care what anyone else says. Mercedes, eat your heart out. The fact that Delta's coming into the fold, we have Julia that just showed up. We have Stephanie Vacour. You have Roxanne, who is phenomenal right now. Cora Jade returned from injury. those are your, I guess, the big ones in the main little picture there. And then when you go down the line, it's insane. The talent that they have is incredible. From the women's NXT North American Championship picture and whatnot with Kalani Jordan and all the individuals going after that. From those that are just doing supporting roles, and those are the people I consider. Okay, don't take this the wrong way. I know how much you like Thea, but Thea's been kind of the supporting role in the Chase U story so far, doing fantastic.
You're the only person that thinks that. You look at a lot of the dirt sheets and everything, they list Thea as being one of the top
Um,
people in NXT Women's Division.
I did not say she wasn't. I'm saying currently.
Kind of just did. You
I'm
kind of just
saying
did.
currently. Am I wrong? That currently she's been
Long-term
killing it.
storytelling, buddy. Long-term storytelling. She's
Once
gonna beat
again,
Rich
oh my
Holland.
God.
She's gonna beat him
What?
when she wrestles.
Anyway, and I was just gonna continue throwing names. I think that JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Jasmine Nix are killing it. Sol Ruka's fantastic, and many others, and I'm left out so many. And NXT Women's Division, man, they're the best, and I know you echo that.
Yes.
Yes, I thought that was the door for you there. We're still learning. It's only episode 24.
No. Remember last week you all pissed off at me? The proper segue would be, and now the news. Okay.
We're not doing this again. We're not doing this again. I'm not doing this with
Jesus
you again.
Christ.
We weren't ready for
Okay.
your news yet. I thought we were still talking about that headline, so I left the door open for you to probably hype up the NXT Women's division.
I warned you about the first two headlines, not the third one.
Well, no,
See,
I
again,
was.
Kurt just doesn't listen to me. He never does. I do all the work.
This is such a toxic relationship,
It really is.
and I really don't know what to do with myself anymore. This is a cry for help.
Uh,
Bring on Jerry Springer, and
he's-
just like
he's
that,
kidding. He's kidding.
bring-
People, he's
bring-
kidding.
I'm
He's
kidding.
kidding.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
He
Bring
does
on
not
Jerry.
need to blink to let you know he's okay.
See, I'm fine.
He's good.
Just put us on Dr. Phil and we'll figure it out. Anyway, RK,
Oh.
let's get in the news. Let's get
Dr.
into the
Phil
headlines.
is going to make things worse.
Let's
Well,
get into the
careful
news.
over there.
My light just
Fucking
fell. We're gonna get into the
wrecking
news.
shit
We're
over
gonna
there.
get into the headlines.
Holy shit. Now that Kurt has his natural glow back,
Thank you.
you know, yeah, it's a podcast, but it's a video cast at the same time. So, appearances are important.
Remember
He
when
is
we
still a
started
young
with
man.
just we
He
just
is
started
still
audio.
trying.
We were
Yeah,
just
we
doing
did.
audio.
And then we got to bad audio. Well, bad audio to okay audio to better audio to bad
Yeah.
video to. Anyways, we're here
We're
now,
figuring it out.
and
All right, fair enough.
what, episode 24? We still have a lot of episodes to go. All right, news: September 30th, October 6th, week of. That's a weird way to say that, but I said it that way, so it happened. Okay, cool. PW Insider says that the rumors. Okay, so this is. I don't know if you had heard this, but rumors had surfaced that Kevin Dunn was working with Vince McMahon on a reverse documentary piece to battle the Netflix piece. I don't know. Anyways, nonetheless, they are not absolutely incorrect. Not true. Kevin Dunn is not working with Vince McMahon on a documentary.
Don't think anyone should be touching Vince McMahon right now. I think that's a stay away from that. And just to add to that, we are almost done watching the Vince McMahon documentary. That video will be coming up fairly soon. For those that want to see our reactions to that stuff. But yeah, I hope Kevin Dunn is smart enough to probably not,
And don't worry, we found a way to slip in some AEW bashing in the middle of it too. So
we always do.
It just comes naturally. They do it to themselves. It's their own fault. Fightful Select says USA Network almost pulled NXT. What? I can't read. I'm messed up today. Okay. On the last episode of NXT on USA, they had the overrun for the Julia, Roxanne Perez, Stephanie Verker appearance promo thing. And I think it overran like 7 minutes. And USA was about to pull them off at their normal time, which would have just been ridiculous and shitty. But just goes to show why. I don't know why USA would have even thought of that, knowing that they still have the contract with SmackDown.
And Raw for a bit till the end of the year.
And Raw so bit. So I don't know why they would have even thought of doing that. Especially, I mean, what the hell comes on USA on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock?
Is it
10
that
o'clock.
show? That
Oh,
anonymous show. That I don't know. Anyway,
oh yeah, it is that anonymous show, I think.
not a fan.
No, that's after Raw. No, it's not. I don't know. Who cares? It would have been dumb if they cut it off there. That would have been the worst thing to happen, especially with
To be
the
fair,
second
the only
crew.
thing me and RK we pay attention to is if a movie's starting, and then we play the game where we try and figure out
Yes.
who can figure out what the movie is first. We haven't had one of those in a while, but those are always fun. Other than that, we don't really care.
Insiders Mike Johnson says he's 99.9%. I love dirt sheets. They never say 100% sure. He says he's 99.9% sure WWE's The Bump is gone forever.
The Bump, was that with Sam Roberts and Megan Morant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hasn't been on for a while.
Yeah, that's weird. Do they still do the show after Raw, like Raw Talk? Is
I
that
don't
still on
know.
Peacock?
No, they usually promote that when they do it, but they haven't for a while either.
Hmm.
Midian, if you are an old school Attitude area timeline, Midian was on Undertaker's 6 Feet Under podcast recently and claimed he gets asked by wrestlers to help them on their returns, and he's cooking up an American Psycho thing with Shotzi.
Ooh, okay, I'm here for that. Is the tank still
Yes.
going to be involved? That's the question.
I would imagine so. Maybe not. American Psycho thing. It could be cool. Jeff Hardy told the Battleground podcast that he does indeed intend on bringing back the Willow character in TNA, and a new mask is being worked on right now. So I'm kind of stoked for that. I never got to see him do the Willow character. So
I don't think I really did either. I just remember seeing YouTube clips from when they were doing the whole Broken universe.
yeah.
And Willow actually was TNA, wasn't it? Now that I think about it. But I thought there were flashbacks in those Broken Universe videos. But the Willow character, it's just Jeff Hardy, but it's different per se.
I mean, Broken Matt Hardy's different too, so it all works.
True.
AEW is hopeful and even expecting to get Adam Cole back sooner than later. We've heard this before. I'm not taking any stock in any of these claims that he's coming back until he does, because we've been teased for the last 9 months that he's been coming back. This is per Fightful. They're reportedly already working on creative plans for his return. He was backstage at Dynamite's taping in Pittsburgh and expected that he will return soon. I still don't. Until it happens, I don't believe it.
I hope.
want him back.
I want Adam Cole back on TV. He's fantastic. Just hopefully he can stay healthy. That's a big key.
Yeah, it seems like AEW just racks up the injuries.
He got so unlucky though with that injury in the MJF feud. That was so unlucky with what happened, and it really put a damper on the end of AEW last year with him going out with that injury.
Yeah, I know nothing about it. I wasn't watching AEW at the time.
Well, we watched.
And then
do you remember? Yeah, when we weren't watching the height of the MJF Adam Cole feud, but we were watching when we watched that video that they put out of like their best moments, and he had gotten hurt when he ran to the ring and like took a weird angle and like his leg like fucked up or something, and that's what led to what I mean by the ending is the fact that the Devil storyline was fucked because of that injury.
Maybe if they put little running lights on their ramps so you don't step off the side of them.
Maybe.
Something. They gotta keep those injuries on the wraps. Sammy Guevara is out now too.
Yeah.
On a recent Fightful Select podcast, Sean Ross Sapp said he's been given no indication that AEW granted Miro's request to be let out of his contract. That sounds exactly what Tony McMahon would do. So, AEW is no reaction to the Tony McMahon. Okay, cool.
I don't know who that is.
Hello?
I don't know who that
Tony
is.
Khan, keeping people under contracts now went just out of spite.
Tony McMahon totally threw me off. I see what you're saying now, but when you said it just registered in my head like it was some like backstage thing. I'm like, oh, and then I sit here and now that I realize what you were doing, that's pretty fucking hilarious. Fuck Tony Khan, or sorry, Tony McMahon.
Speaking of McMahon's, Mercedes recently said that she would love to see Shane McMahon come to AEW because he still has a lot left to prove. It's a coincidence, right? All these are coincidences that they're ending up on the same flights. And
I'm just gonna ask you straight up.
John Moxley's doing the bidding for somebody else right now.
Do you think it's Shane McMahon? Or do you think he's involved in AEW?
99.9% sure.
The deal's done. I do have a weird feeling that Shane McMahon is somehow involved in that.
Well, the whole promo, we'll get to it on Dynamite, with Moxley saying, I'm not choosing to do this. I have to do this. This isn't my choice. All that stuff. It's leading up to somebody pulling the strings behind the curtain on that. And yeah, all the coincidences of being on the same flights and meeting and stuff, and Mercedes now saying that she would love to see Shane McMahon come to like, can you guys just announce it already?
I just don't know if I want to see Shane McMahon jump off of things again, because he probably
I don't know,
or will he be in more of a manager role?
He can't come back as a wrestler. Last time he came back as a wrestler, he tore his quads just standing in the ring.
He's trying to be like his dad, man.
Thank God for Snoop Dogg and the Miz.
Yeah, well, yeah. Of all people, the person that saved that was Snoop Dogg. Was the priority there? He saved it. It's like, what? The Miz,
probably the Miz calling the shots on that one.
Imagine it was Snoop Dogg that called all of it. All right, here's what we're gonna do, Miz.
Okay,
this is like, all right, dog.
AEW is strongly considering finding a new video game developmental partner, says Insider Gaming. A source told the site that because the Ukes developed Fight Forever was over budget yet under delivered. There's a reason WWE left Ukes.
Under delivered is putting it nicely. That game is so bad. It's so bad. It was free on PlayStation. I downloaded it and I played it for maybe 20 minutes, if that. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Ukes was fantastic, though. They did so well back when they were doing the SmackDown versus Raws. I don't know. I mean, I know THQ.
They just never developed with the times.
Yeah, those games were great. SmackDown versus Raws were fantastic. But, man, they fell off big time. And that's not saying 2K is the greatest thing of all time, but at least they got their shit together. They had to take a year off, if you remember, from making WWE 2K games. They took a whole year, and they got their shit together. But I just can't think of any other developer that would want to pick that up. But if AEW is paying big dollars, then maybe. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head who would be a good developer for them.
I don't know of any of other companies that make wrestling games.
Yeah, I mean 2K and THQ are the ones that always come to mind for me.
Yeah, but THQ is tied to Ukes.
Who made the TNA? Remember the TNA video game?
No, not at all.
It was.
I bet you it was Ukes or THQ.
Who made the TNA video game? It was just TNA Impact. Midway Studios, Los Angeles. Midway Games.
Midway
Games. The games that come to mind when I think of Midway Games are the NFL Blitz games back in the day.
Yeah, it makes sense.
The TNA game wasn't great, but it was interesting. But the fact that the TNA video game, and I'm pretty sure it came out in 2008. Yeah, 2008 is a better game than a game that was made in, when was the AEW 2020? Yeah. I don't know.
No, it wasn't that old. It was only like 2 years ago. Anyways,
Punk's in the game. I know that.
Cool. Well, yeah. Okay, so I sent you this on Discord. Brian Alvarez on Braun Strowman right after the show. It appears that he has suffered an injury. It looked like we all saw it, Brian.
Yeah, we'll get to Monday Night Raw, but it looked like Braun Strowman clearly, and something went wrong.
Yeah, I laughed when Brian. My appearances from what I saw is that he hurt himself. Yeah, crap reporting, Brian. Good job.
From my eyes and everybody else's.
Fightful says no one they talked to at NXT could say that there would be any changes to the brand related to the TV14 rating it was given for its move to CW. Yeah, it's not like they're just going to come out and all of a sudden start dropping f bombs and shit. But
Yeah,
you're going to see it subtle changes. You're going to see subtle changes.
I want to go on I'm not going to go on a rant about this, but I am pretty irritated with how the CW thing is going. So you basically have to have an antenna cable, or apparently only the East Coast in the United States. Only the East Coast was getting access to the CW, apparently. And if you were a West Coast person, you had it on a delay, or like there were people that said that you can't watch it live on the CW app. It's not available on YouTube TV. It's not available on Hulu Live TV. You watch it on like a what was it, a VOD. You have to watch it after. Luckily, we have RK and he has Sportsnet, so we were able to watch it.
And then I'll have Netflix.
And then I'll have Netflix and we'll be golden. But it was a bit of a pain trying on my end. I couldn't get the CW anywhere. But it didn't.
I thought Kurt was going to cry.
I was losing my mind. I signed up for 15 different free trials, man. I mean, I was trying my hardest on these live TV things. But I was sent a link to watch in case I needed to elsewhere. But don't have to worry about that now. Shout out to RK.
We don't condone illegal actions to watch TV.
You know what's fun?
Hey, wrestling, they they work very hard.
Yeah, and I didn't want to go. I was trying I signed up for a 3-day trial for DirecTV Stream, canceled that immediately. Couldn't get access to it. Hulu TV tried it, and I just couldn't get it. But thankfully, RK has Sportsnet, and we were able to handle it. So, and it's not like it affected anything. To be very clear, once we get
honestly, I was happy because I got the better quality sound.
Yeah, that is weird how it goes on StreamYard here. Whoever is presenting video gets the better audio. And whoever's watching the other end, it's not the greatest, but you get used to it. As RK said, it was a weird change for me, and but it didn't affect anything. Got to watch it, and I don't think the ratings messed it up either. We'll get into the ratings here in a bit as we get through the news, but yeah, bit of an irritation apparently from the IWC recently complains about not being able to watch it live.
Yeah, they bitch about everything.
They do.
But that being said, that's something WWE should look into because obviously
I think the easiest way would be just to get with CW and be like, can you guys on your app, if people even sign up for the app, pay for the app, whatever, can you not have it available to be live streamed as it's happening? Simple as that. See what they say. Best you can do.
I don't even want to go into this, but it was Bad Blood press conference. It was brought up, a lot lately.
I didn't watch this.
And so I'm gonna go on a little rant after this, but anyways, nonetheless, Sean Ross Sapp said on Fightful Select podcast that WWE has been made aware of the lack of black male single talent who have been booked for matches on the company's main roster, pay-per-views, premium live events. Saps never heard his WWE sources or contacts say, yes, this was intentional, but is hearing them say, well, that's obviously something that will be addressed now. Triple H was asked during the press conference, same thing, black talent not being on the main cards and stuff. And Triple H basically said, I don't look at color. I don't look at any of that stuff. I look at talent, storylines, what's going on, what's happening. That's who gets booked for the cards. It could be female, male, black, white, yellow, green. Doesn't matter. Book the best possible talent for the best possible spots. I'm getting kind of sick and tired of hearing this Triple H hates black people thing.
Yeah.
Can you give me the talent in WWE right now that deserves top billing that's African American?
I mean, I'm gonna try and play a devil's advocate. I think the argument that would be made was, well, you're not pushing them enough. You're not giving them the spotlight. But to answer your question, the only one obviously Trick Williams is the NXT champion. We'll get into that in the CW.
Trick Williams getting all the love down in fucking NXT. He's one of their main guys.
Carmelo's on TV every week for SmackDown. Yep. The New Day are on TV.
But I hear the IWC bitching about them having 7 matches all the time, every week. But he's on TV every week.
And when I really sit here and I rack my brain, it's hard for me to think of names that immediately come to
Anyways,
mind.
nonetheless, it's a conversation that can be beat to death, and it's just people looking for something that's not there. Um,
They just want to stir
you
some
had
shit.
Brian Danielson beat Swerve Strickland because Tony Khan has a fetish with being better than WWE. But Swerve Strickland was the person that deserves to be the face of that company right now, carrying the belt.
Yeah, agreed. We don't hear a peep of that. Well, they gave Swerve the run, but why would you take it off of him for someone that isn't going to be there at the end of the year? Have somebody beat him that is going to sound weird, but deserves it. I don't think Danielson deserved it. He only got
Yeah.
it because, as you said, it was a dream of Tony Khan, and this is opinion based, but we both agree when you say it. Tony Khan wanted that WrestleMania 30 moment that Brian got with the WWE, and he wanted it at Wembley with Danielson. He got it. He got his wish, but at what cost? You take all that
Well, the
momentum that
cost
Swerve
of
had.
watching a fucking Nigel McGuinness Brian Danielson title match.
That was tough. Tough watch. People will disagree with us. Apparently it was a big deal. But besides the point, I think it's just people wanting to stir the shit.
It's just fucking the tribalism bullshit. They're just looking for anything to get under on WWE's, just making them look bad.
Yep.
Uh, it's stupid. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Anyways, Dave Meltzer confirmed AEW is talking to Fox, but that a deal isn't done and may not be close to being finalized for obvious reasons. Eric Bischoff, what he said is probably the closest thing to the truth ever. Why would Fox want a show that can't draw 700,000 fans?
What the issue, the snag, if I'm putting on a hat here and thinking, with the Fox deal in AEW, I bet Fox will take AEW. But their issue is, I guarantee AEW saying, okay, we'll put us on Fox, the main Fox channel. And Fox is probably saying, well, no, we were going to put you on Fox Sports 1, or we were going to put you on any of the other outlets that they have, not the main Fox channel. And then maybe that's a snag where AEW is like, no, we want to be on the main channel. TNT's taking a chance on us. Like, yeah, okay. That's
I'll get to
Dynamite.
that. They're not taking the chance on them. You'll see what's
Oh,
actually
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
deal.
yeah. I'll let you carry on with that. But I think that's the issue. The AEW probably thinks that they should be on the main Fox outlet instead of maybe a relegation of Fox Sports 1.
Yeah, but Fox didn't want WWE anymore because they thought SmackDown was going to draw them like 45 million viewers a week.
I think expectations are a little high.
They
On
are. Wrestling, it's hot right now, but it's not ever. I don't think you'll ever see the numbers that I saw in the Attitude Monday Night Roars era. That number probably is far fetched to be ever caught up to again.
Yeah.
But that being said, the numbers that are drawn are bigger than they were for a good chunk of the 2010s. So,
Right.
Sports Business Journal's report on the new deal between Warner Brothers and AEW is that Warner Brothers Discovery has an equity stake in AEW, the size of which was not disclosed. This seemingly confirms long-standing speculation that WBD owns a piece of AEW.
Yeah. They do.
Yeah, so they're not so much taking a chance on putting them. It's like, well, fuck, we got to make this work
Right.
because we get profit out of it.
Yeah, they're getting a cut of it.
There's also rumors
Yeah,
that
I'll let you.
Bischoff was throwing out there and all that stuff, and people are trying to debunk it. But I mean, I would not be surprised. Is that Shad Khan owns is paying Warner Brothers money
To
to
do it.
to do AEW's stuff.
Yeah, it was that rumor that Bischoff had to burn her account or something and put that
Yeah,
out. I
yeah.
I don't know how true that is, but I could see it. I could see it.
Here, we'll offset some of the costs.
Yeah. I I just want AEW to succeed. I truly do. I want them to be the best they can be. We say this on almost every other podcast, but
I'm 50-50. Either I want them to succeed and do it, and everyone to shut the fuck up, or I want to see them crash and burn in epic proportion.
what makes me agree with that second part of them wanting to crash and burn is people, these AEW fucking shills, these marks, these AEW till we die, it's the greatest thing of all time, will shut the hell up. They can't compete with WWE, so quit thinking they do. That's when they were at their best. When they were not trying to compete with they were just AEW. They were doing their own thing. When they first started, everything was fine. And then I don't know what got in everybody's head thinking that they were the greatest, and they're not. They're just not. They can't compete with WWE. So stop trying. Stop trying to hold your dynamites in these big buildings. It looks like shit. The show looks good when you do it in smaller venues. The crowd looks good. Everything looks fine. And stop fucking just comparing. Stop comparing yourself to WWE and you'll be all right.
They should just do their own thing.
And people will tell you that they are, but they're not.
They're not, though.
Because you're going to probably mention here in the news in a second.
You're going out and signing every talent that's released from WWE to your fucking brand. Because, like, I'm sorry, MVP old as fuck. And even Dave Meltzer said this. MVP old as fuck. Shelton Benjamin old. Bobby Lashley old as fuck. Why are we bringing in these old fucks from WWE?
I saw some of the funniest tweets. Somebody tweeted out AEW just got Shelton Benjamin, and they showed like highlights, and it was the highlights from like Shelton Benjamin, like the gold standard Shelton Benjamin with the dyed hair, and like Shelton was fantastic. Yeah, then. And somebody's reply was the fact that we're showing mid 2000s Shelton Benjamin highlights to promote this as a good deal is crazy. It was hilarious.
Bobby Lashley's like 48 years old. MVP can't wrestle. Like
Shelton, I love Shelton Benjamin. I always thought he was very underrated when he was in the WWE because he was doing some cool shit, but it's not Shelton Benjamin of old. And Bobby Lashley can still go. I'm not saying he can't, but he is old. He's not have that long left. I think if you really want the prime example, and this is no disrespect to him, the fact that he's still wrestling is crazy, was getting Edge. Bringing Edge in, that was a tough one, but Edge could still go. It just don't know how much longer, and even with the injury, which we haven't heard anything, by the way, on Edge. I don't know if you have on what's up with Adam Copeland at this moment.
Probably sitting home with Beth, having fun.
Yeah, living life. He's good. He's solid. So just stop trying to be WWE. You're AEW.
On his Behind the Turnbuckle podcast, Jonathan Coachman, and this guy's bitter, but he has been for a while about WWE. He's said some shit about the Hall of Fame a little while back about how it's a joke. They don't even have a building. I would never accept if I got accepted into the Hall of Fame, I wouldn't even show up. Something like that. It's like, yeah, well, you wouldn't. So, okay. But anyways, he said that he turned down an offer to be interviewed for the Netflix's Mr. McMahon docuseries. Coachman said sorry, this is written horribly. I just take these right off sites. So he turned down the offer to be interviewed for Netflix's Mr. McMahon docuseries. I thought he was going to go on to say why, but he doesn't. He just goes to say that he was contacted by another production company on a major network who are doing another documentary on the WWE.
Okay, so stay tuned, I guess. I don't know.
So, yeah, no, interesting. Coachman just talks a lot of shit half the time.
I see him pop up on my Twitter here and there. He doesn't just talk shit on the WWE. He goes at AEW fans too. I think he's just a bitter individual.
I think he's just bitter that he's not in the industry.
Yeah.
This past week, WWE filed 2 trademarks on Yes, Yes, Yes. Bryan Danielson had filed his own trademark on the catchphrase in July, but he abandoned his claims a couple weeks ago after he told YouTuber Luke James he'd received some sort of legal letter from the WWE.
Yeah, people were saying, well, the WWE went and undermined him. Apparently, WWE made that claim when? Before him? Correct?
Yeah, no, this recent one, but they had tried to claim it something to do with the limitations on it expiring, and they filed something, but it wasn't. It was something what happened, but nonetheless, they still have the right to file for it. AEW filed a trademark for King of Hearts, spelled like Bret Hart, Harts. Meltzer reported in a 2021 Wrestling Observer newsletter that AEW originally wanted to use the name for the Owen Hart Cup, but their attempt to trademark it at that time was blocked.
What? Why is AEW so keen on Owen Hart? I don't. Was he?
It's just another status sin for them. I'm sorry. The whole tragedy of Owen Hart is a tragedy.
Yeah.
But this is AEW trying to cash in on that because they're like, oh look, we're doing this, and WWE wouldn't do it for Owen Hart or the Hart family.
Right. Owen, you have to help my memory. Was Owen a big deal on WCW at all?
Owen never went to WCW, did he?
He didn't.
No, he stayed when Bret Hart went to our WCW.
I know that. I'm just trying to piece it together if he had anything on the Turner networks per se.
No, he was WWE all the time.
Okay. I just don't get with the AEW obsession with using Owen Hart.
I think it's just Tony going, look, we're doing this in memory. WWE doesn't do it in memory.
Which kudos to you, I guess, but yeah.
According to WrestleVotes Radio, even though Becky Lynch is reportedly a free agent, her name is still listed each week on WWE's internal roster. That's because she's not going anywhere. If she decides to come back, it'll be in WWE. If she decides not to come back, she's not wrestling anymore, I don't think. I think the door is just an open-ended, hey, you want to come back? We're ready for you.
When you're ready, come on. That's it. If you really think she was going to go to AEW, like, come on, people. Not a chance. Becky Lynch is WWE for life now.
Yeah, she's not going.
I'm 99.9% positive she's not going to AEW. I'll leave that point one in just in case something crazy happens.
WrestleVotes and F4W Online's Brian Alvarez confirmed that WWE is bringing next year's Elimination Chamber event to England. This international premium live event will take place in the month of March prior to WrestleMania 41, with Birmingham and Manchester as the front runners to host it.
I wonder where they'll go. I assume they'll stick to the whole stadium vibe for Elimination Chamber then?
I'm assuming Birmingham and Manchester both have huge ass soccer fields.
Manchester's got Old Trafford where Manchester United play, and there's the Etihad Stadium where Manchester City play. Birmingham, I think, has other ones. Wembley Stadium is in London, so they're not doing that. I guess there may be arenas too. I'm not trying to put the arenas out of the picture, but I just don't know. With Elimination Chamber, it's been in open stadiums.
Well, no, because it's usually in February. They only did open stadium because it
was in Perth, Australia. Yeah. So maybe it will be a big arena for that in England.
It would be. March in England is cold.
Yeah. Well, they may draw a bigger crowd than, the most recent AEW show there. So we'll see.
That's just spreading tribalism, Kurt. Don't do that here.
Well, and to be fair, that's a shout out to the UK scene. The UK fans are crazy about pro wrestling. They're gonna show out.
They are.
So I think it'll be a big crowd, and it'll be a big deal for England. And then I think soon we may get an announcement that, you know what, we are gonna do WrestleMania in the UK. I think it's gonna happen.
Great. We're watching WrestleMania at 2:00 in the morning. Awesome. Oh, we do that anyways.
No, it'd be about on my time. On my time, it'd be about, I want to say 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning, 11 a.m. my time.
There in the morning.
Because I get up in the morning and I watch Premier League soccer. So, and I'm pretty sure that's like the night. Yeah, so it wouldn't be that bad. I'd be okay with it actually. It'd be midday.
I wouldn't be. I'd be up at 6 in the morning.
Yeah, you're used to it.
I am, unfortunately. But Fightful Select says Bobby Lashley is signed with AEW and will be debuting there soon. Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin all signed their AEW deals several weeks ago. Cool.
Kind of.
Wrestling Observer Radio's Dave Meltzer. Why the fuck does Wrestling Observer have 18 different fucking platforms? Dave Meltzer believes that Vince McMahon's rule forbidding WWE wrestlers and talent from saying the word belt on TV is still in effect today, even though Vince is gone from the company. Could have sworn somebody said belt like a few weeks ago.
LA Knight said it recently. I'm almost certain of that. Whatever, Dave. You're just, I think that was Dave trying to be like, oh, we're short on headlines. Let's go ahead and make this one.
PW Insider says the belief, that's why he threw it on his Wrestling Observer Radios, Dave Meltzer, not Wrestling or F4W or whatever the fuck they. We promise to all our fans that we will only forever be Top Rope Renegades podcast, video blog combo thing. We're just all one for all in one.
Top
all
Rope
one,
Renegades.
All in one.
Top Rope Renegades presents blank. All for
That's
one,
us.
one for all. Yeah. Is that where you're going?
Three Musketeers.
Oh, well, we only have two, so.
Well, anyway, we should have at least a guest eventually, wherever your buddy is.
Working on it. I'm working on
it. PW Insider says the belief is that Sammy Guevara suffered a concussion when he was injured at this week's AEW taping.
There was 2 injuries at that taping.
What was the other one?
There was a dark match before they went live for the AEW 5-year anniversary Dynamite. Lady Frost had a match with an enhancement talent, and the enhancement talent got hurt pretty bad.
See, I think they should get Lady Frost on TV more often. She's actually pretty good. I like Lady Frost.
So, yeah, there was an injury in a dark match, and then Sammy Guevara's was during the Ring of Honor taping afterwards. So, yeah. Safe place.
Just add to that injury list. We should still do a monthly injury list. WrestleVotes reported that AEW's new deal with Warner Brothers Discovery is worth closer to $185 million per year rather than the $150 million per year originally reported. Both Andrew Zarian and Sean Ross Sapp confirmed votes report. Cool. The Wrestling Observer newsletter says the deal is worth $180 million in 2025, $185 million in 2026, $190 million in 2027. Furthermore, WBD has an option year built in for all of 2028 at a significantly higher number. I feel like if the numbers don't increase, they won't option that,
or they'll decline that other option. Basically,
yeah.
It's almost like a professional athlete contract. We'll make a decision on your contract
based on performance.
Yeah,
which I think Warner Brothers is smart putting that in there because it's like, well, it's only a 3-year deal, which is wild. It shows you the confidence in AEW is nowhere near the same as business companies' confidence in WWE, with Netflix signing a 5-year deal plus option for another 5 years.
I don't know how long the deals have been with WWE and USA, but I'm sure they've been extensive. Yeah,
but Netflix sees value.
Yeah, of course. There's a
reason nobody's throwing Tony Khan $10 billion for 10 years.
No, they're not even throwing him. What was it again? What was the number?
180 million, 185 million, 190 million.
Yeah, he ain't even getting close to $1 billion.
But Dave Meltzer then goes on to say the profit that AEW is projected to make in 2025 is between 75 and 90 million. I don't know how you can gauge that profit. Like, does he know how many T-shirts they're going to sell and how many attendance every show is going to take in?
Just be honest.
How can you?
He's guessing. It's a guess. That's all that is.
And also, 75 to 90 million in profit. That's not a lot.
No,
it's really not.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, it's not at all.
It's really not.
Doesn't Cody Rhodes make that in merch sales?
Probably.
Just being honest.
The Observer asked WWE about why the world title match between Gunther and Sami Zayn was booked for next week's Raw instead of the Bad Blood. The answer they got back is Bad Blood didn't need the match, so they could use it to boost Raw.
I'm actually I
Raw's
don't know.
got 2 title matches on it.
Yeah, 2 or 3. I feel like there's a tag title. I could be wrong on that one, but yeah, the IC titles on the line. Jay versus Xavier Woods, Gunther versus Sammy for the World Heavyweight title. I'm not saying Bad Blood could have used that match. We watched it and maybe it could have helped things, but I didn't. I kind of enjoy the 5 matches.
Yeah. Thank God it was only 5 matches. We'll get into that.
Yeah,
Hot take, but Bad Blood might be the worst pay-per-view of the year.
for WWE for sure. I mean,
But it
it was
also
it was mid. It was mid.
that might as well fucking bring this up right now. I just saw it while I was looking earlier. And I thought it was kind of wild. So Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk's Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood currently stands as WWE's 2024 Match of the Year on Cage Match.
Yeah,
It
that is
has a
voted by the fans.
9.39 out of 10 rating as of press time. The match also currently stands at number 21 on the list of greatest matches in company history. And I can agree with that easily.
Let's.
While he's looking up current numbers, one last piece of news. Fightful Select mentioned that Daniel Garcia has not been backstage at recent AEW events. His contract is set to expire this month, and AEW has creative plans in place for him in the case that he re-signs with the promotion.
It is at a 9.40 based on 339 votes on Cage Match. Whoa. The Rhea Ripley Liv Morgan match is 3.41.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll stay tuned for good old Dave's star ratings and see what he gives that CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre match. But he better.
Ooh, this is the question that's going. This is the question that's going around all of the internet right now. I've seen both matches. I don't know if you happen to see the cage match between Serve and Heyman yet. Did you ever go back and watch that?
I didn't. I did not.
Well, the question is, which cage match was better?
I'm judging on the clips I saw from the Swerve Hangman one. I haven't watched the full match, and the match that I just watched. It's not. You can call it recency bias, but that Punk Drew match was perfect. It was so good, and I'm sure Hangman and Swerve put on a good match. I'm not saying they didn't.
I feel like the Punk Drew match could have got maybe a 6-star rating if they used a syringe.
There it is. There it is.
Without that, it's 5.
All right, I'm gonna. Do you think Dave gives it a 5? If he doesn't, based on the reaction of the fans, by the way, if he doesn't give that a 5, he's a bitch.
How many of this was awesome chants were there? 5 during that match?
4 or 5. I mean, the fan
that match was so good.
It really was, and Dave.
When I watched the Hangman Swerve match, and I was way more enthralled by Drew and Punk, man.
And Dave, we give him his flowers to a point where we say, you know, his star ratings, if it's a high one, it's normally a pretty good match. And if he doesn't give this one of his 5-star matches, it just shows point blank that he is biased towards AEW. That's the way I look at it. And he's probably going to give it like a 4.75.
Speaking of Dave Meltzer, that's right. There's Eric, but so somebody posted from Wrestle Purist or something that Dave Meltzer owns a 3% stake in AEW.
Oh, I saw that.
And then Eric Bischoff retweeted it. And then the guy who said, I actually never said that. That's somebody just saying that I said that. And nonetheless, do you think with how biased Dave Meltzer can be towards AEW, that he does have a personal interest in boosting the numbers?
Probably, maybe.
Because some of his star ratings, you just go, "What the fuck, dude?"
Yeah, maybe. And you know, let's since we're on the Dave Meltzer bias, let's talk about the ratings real quick, if we may. So we have the SmackDown on the USA Network from the 27th of September. They did a 1.5 million with a 0.45 in the demo. Raw did a 1.5 million as well with a 0.48 in the demo. This is the main one here, though. NXT's debut on the CW network, they did 895,000 with a 0.26 in the main demo. AEW Dynamite on TBS, this was the 5-year anniversary show, did a 680,000 with a 0.20 in the main demo. The reason we always do talk about the ratings, but we're on the topic of Dave Meltzer bias. RK, I'm going to read you 2 tweets. I sent these to you in the Discord as well. Dave Meltzer tweeted, NXT did 895K with a 0.26 last night. Premiere usually is much higher than the show settles in at. Week 3-4 is when you really get a better feel for it. So right there was him trying to downplay the rating, saying it was high because it was the premiere. You know, let's wait a couple weeks. And I'm not disagreeing with him. I do want to see what it looks like once we basically get back to the performance center. Let's see where it goes at. See where it levels out at, and let's find that average. I agree, but that was clearly Dave saying, let it settle down. AW. This is a tweet from Dave. AW did 680K with a 0.20. Going 30 plus minutes long hurt, plus 2 baseball playoff games, and larger than usual news ratings. NXT was up against playoff baseball games as well, and there was a vice presidential debate in the United States going on at the same time. I'm sorry, but is that him defending the rating again with AEW? Well, here's why they didn't do too good. Here's why. Dave, that seems to be the pretty fucking norm right now for Dynamite.
But their numbers right around that number every fucking week.
Yeah, the week prior they did 702. And then it went down to 680. So there's a bias from Dave, and he denies and denies. It's fucking evident, man. It's evident. He blocked me on Twitter for a reason. I just can't deal with the ratings and the defending of the ratings when WWE has issues. We want to put it down. NXT, it's the premiere, and I do agree with him to a point, but why you gotta try and make it seem like, well, that's the only reason it was high because it was the premiere. Sure, maybe it was, but what if it's not? What if that's the norm now? What if NXT continues to do that? Then what's the answer for Dave Meltzer going to say? I don't know. I need NXT to continuously beat Dynamite in the ratings because it'll make me feel better about myself. It'll make me feel so good.
I'll just laugh that a developmental territory beats a top tier.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. That's the ratings, and that's Dave Meltzer defending and putting down the ratings for NXT, defending AEW. So yeah, he may have a stake.
What other enough of the AEW bashing? No, that's it. That's all I got.
I don't really have anything else crazy.
Look, we're not trying to bash on AEW all the time. It's just they make it really hard not to.
Fightful put out a report saying Keith Lee is still not ready for his in-ring turn. He's been sidelined for 9 months. There was one that I saw and wanted to get into real quick. Oh, so TNA is planning on continuing their TNA Hall of Fame. I don't know if you knew they had this or not, RK. Did you know?
No.
There is a TNA Hall of Fame. They have been adding members to their Hall of Fame every year since 2020. They're planning to move forward with that again this year. There's no news on who's being inducted. Sources of the company confirmed it was in the plans. Fightful spoke to the Hardy Boys recently, and they'd be honored to be inducted, but have not engaged in those conversations. That Fightful has been told by sources that they're hopeful AJ Styles would be inducted. Obviously, AJ Styles is going in any TNA Hall of Fame, without a doubt, obviously. But I wanted to read off a couple names real quick for you of who has been inducted in the TNA Hall of Fame and see if it makes sense to you. Abyss. Makes sense. And by the way, Abyss was the producer of the CM Punk Drew McIntyre Hell in a Cell match.
Interesting.
He was the main producer of that. Awesome Kong is in the TNA Hall of Fame. We have the tag team of Brother Devon and Brother Ray. the
Yeah.
Dudley Boys. Don West, commentator, is in alongside Mike Tenay, also TNA commentator. They were the main voices of TNA when they were big and hot. Earl Hebner, TNA Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Gail Kim,
Yep.
Jeff Jarrett,
Yep.
Ken Shamrock,
Yep.
Kurt Angle,
Yep.
Raven,
Yep.
Tracy Brooks. I don't know who Tracy Brooks is for some reason. She was a female wrestler. That's all I got on her. And Sting is in the TNA Hall of Fame as well. There's only 14 people in the TNA Hall of Fame as of right now, compared to the WWE who had 245. I didn't know, but New Japan has a Hall of Fame as well. They only have 27 people. And there was a WCW Hall of Fame? Okay, only 17 people got in the WCW Hall of Fame, though. Because now they're technically all WWE Hall of Famers. But before it became that, the big one that I see is like a Dusty Rhodes, Vern Gagne, names like that. And Wahoo McDaniel. Shout out to Wahoo McDaniel. That is all the news I got on my end. I think you hit all the other stuff. The only other thing I have is that AEW is wanting to give a big push to Takeshita, which they should. Takeshita's fantastic.
As they should. The dude's fucking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah, that's all I got.
Honestly, Takeshita, Ospreay, Ricochet at Wrestle Dream is going to be a fucking banger match.
Do it. That match.
And honestly, Takeshita should take away the title in the end.
I'm behind that. I can agree with that.
Get Will 100%. Ospreay out of that mid-card shit. Get him up to the top tier.
Yep, I agree with that.
And let Ricochet end up where he's bound to end up. I'm sorry, Ricochet, you're awesome, but you ain't that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. You are a mid-carder. It's where you belong. You're gonna do cool shit, but you're gonna stay in the mid-card doing the cool shit. Because what's the word? The aura word. His in-ring word. It's got aura. The ability to speak into a microphone and cut promos, not much aura. You're on the same level as Zoe Stark, in my opinion.
And you can say that. Zoe Stark, I think she is a phenomenal fucking wrestler.
Agreed. But don't let her talk much. It's not great. Anyway, that puts a bow on the news, the rumors, and innuendo of the past week here for the Top Rope Renegades. When we come back, we will dive into the weekly shows, starting with Monday Night Raw and capping it off with a conversation about Bad Blood. Stay tuned, and we will be right back. Welcome back to Top Rope Renegades this week in wrestling. It is time to get in
breaking news.
Oh, breaking news. Hold on. Let me cut the music. Breaking news. What do we got, RK?
The WWE talent, locker room talent, is trying to get AJ Mendez back in the ring. So AJ posted on X, "Thank you. I'm definitely embracing my well-earned wrinkles and gray hair because aging is a privilege, but therapy, self-love, avoiding toxic energy, and sunscreen will make that skin glow too." Bailey goes, "I heard wrestling rings were really good for wrinkles." Corey J goes, "Yeah, same." Liv Morgan, "Me too." Hey. And then AJ Mendez goes, "I adore you goddesses and your peer pressure as well." Then she posted something, responding to a picture. "Oh my God, he is so majestic." And then Bailey went, "You know what's also majestic?" And Roxanne piped in with "Mother in Rain again." Everybody wants AJ back.
Cue the Hawkeye meme in the rain. Don't give me hope. Don't do it. Don't give me hope. Please don't give me hope. I want to see her back. I need AJ Lee. It's gotta happen, man. Right?
Remember that scene from Days of Thunder where they're eating ice cream in the pit?
Yeah. By the way,
I need a pit. You can't right now. Why not? We're eating ice cream. We'd offer you to come get some, but I don't think NASCAR would like that.
That Days of Thunder is one of my favorite movies of all time. As a guy that's been in racing my whole life, that movie, oh, so good. Um, one of my favorite scenes is the when he comes in, he's like, the race is over, change my tires. The race is over, Cole. Change my tires. And just goes out there and kills him. Or the I want you to hit the pace car. Huh? I want you to hit the pace car. Why? Well, because you hit everything else on the track.
I want you to be
Days,
perfect.
Days of Thunder, Tom Cruise, great movie. Whew. Apparently, I thought they were trying to remake that, and that got shot down. Don't remake
Thank
it.
God.
Please
Don't.
don't remake that. No,
Unless
not
it
with
includes Cole Trickle and it's Tom Cruise and Rowdy or Rowdy.
Roddy
What was
Burns.
Rowdy Burns? Rowdy Tellez is a baseball player.
Yeah.
Anyways, Rowdy Burns, which is Rondu from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Uh-huh.
Great movie all around. Great
Mm-hmm.
movie.
Nicole Kidman in that as well as the
Yeah.
doctor. As the doctor.
Gene Hackman, of course.
Gene Hackman, crew chiefin. Yeah, if they remake it, I guess it's got to be Cole Trickle in the crew chief role, huh?
Honestly, if they don't give it the same treatment that the new Top Gun movie got, why even bother?
Great movie. Maverick was so good. Such a good movie. What are we talking about? Why are we talking about that? It's time to talk about Monday Night Raw. This is the final Monday Night Raw as of right now. That will be 3 hours. Starting this coming week, it will be a 2-hour show. So the final 3-hour episode from September 30th. The biggest match that was pushed for this was the last monster standing match. Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed was set to main event the night. But we get a preview of the card with Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett. I just want to say Joe Tessitore has gotten better and better each week. He is fantastic. He is so good. He's got the voice for it, and as we talked about, I think on last week's episode, he heard the talk of the IWC that he didn't know the moves, and now he talks about every single move. It's a good ice cream arcade. We kick off Monday Night Raw with
Hey,
the
you
newly
saw I was eating ice cream and you decided to start it anyways, so here we are.
Yeah, it's all right. We got us a good moment to talk about, Days of Thunder. Days of Thunder. What's Tom Cruise's best movie? Tough question, isn't it?
Very tough question. Regardless of what you think of Tom Cruise, his movies are always fucking amazing.
Yes. Science
One
fiction.
one off, just not even a full. It's not even really a Tom Cruise movie. He's just in it. But Days of Thunder, Tropic Thunder.
Okay. It may be a recency bias.
Take your phone. I will literally fuck your face.
It may be a recency bias, but man, that Maverick was so good. It was so good. Top Gun's great, obviously. But I don't know. Maybe I stick with Days of Thunder as a personal choice.
A lot of the Mission Impossibles are really fun.
They are good movies, entertaining movies. Stallings finishes ice cream before we talk about Monday Night Raw. In the comments below, what's your favorite Tom Cruise movie of all time? What's your favorite movie of all time? Let's see what you got out there. If I were to give you my favorite movie of all time, The Departed always comes to the top of my list for some reason. Big fan of Departed. Armageddon is one of the greatest movies of all time.
I've watched that movie at least 100 times. It's like when I can't find something to watch, I throw on Armageddon.
Is that your background noise while you're working?
I
throw on Armageddon.
Fucking love that movie.
It's a great movie. Great movie. All right, we kick off Monday Night Raw with. I thought you were eating more stuff. I just looked up.
No, my ice cream fell off the stick.
We kick things off Monday Night Raw. Newly crowned Intercontinental Champion Jey Uso makes his entrance through the crowd. His son, of course, with him. Comes through the crowd. Jay said he would be fighting every week to defend the title. Thanked the crowd for having his back through the years, saying he was very special as he was able to walk to the ring with his son behind him. After everything he'd gone through, being considered as just a twin, Braun Breaker interrupts, and out of respect, it basically just shows his respect to Jey Uso. RK hates this. I'm okay with it. Basically, Braun Breaker face turn here. RK shaking his head. He didn't like it. I'm okay with it because
Fucking horseshit.
he wanted a generational heel run from Braun Breaker. But
I did.
we'll get more into Braun here in a minute. But I am okay with Braun Breaker. I mean, he's over his shit no matter what. But yeah, we'll see what we got. Face Braun Breaker with the dogs barking. I want to give a shout out real quick. I want to see your reaction to this. Our friend that we play video games with occasionally, his name is Jesse, or I wasn't gonna say his real gamer tag, Jizz Nasty. We play games with. That is his gamer tag. People, I'm not just.
You're worried about saying jizz on this? You know what the fuck? That's what's going to stop you?
Yeah,
Here's what's going to stop you.
know.
Everything
He
else.
sent
Cool. That word off limits.
he sent the text in a group chat that I have with Zane, and he said Bad Blood was mid, and I was like, yeah, you're not far off. And he said that he thinks that Braun Breaker at the start of his entrance, since Big Papa Pump said "Holla if you hear me," that Braun's should be "Bark if you hear me," and I almost deleted him as a friend.
No.
I thought it was corny as shit.
No.
I thought it was so. I'm like,
No.
"Bark if you hear me." I'm like, yeah, Chief, I don't know about that one. I think you get booed. Like, what? No.
Fucking invite that guy right now. Invite him.
Just join the show. Really? Bark if you hear me? Yeah, that was dumb. But anyway, we have face Braun Breaker, and RK is not a fan. Why are you not a fan?
Just don't like it. His heel, his persona, he just oozes heel.
Oozes heel.
Like Brock Lesnar heel.
I see what you're saying. I get it.
Like Gunther heel is classic heel. Braun Breaker could have been Brock Lesnar heel.
I'm gonna ask you as a fan of the WWE and a fan of stories, let him cook for a minute. See what you think.
No.
All right, then don't. Judgment Day is shown.
As far as I'm concerned, Braun Breaker's dead to me. It's like putting Will Ospreay in a mid-card fucking title.
They did.
Exactly.
Oh, hush. Judgment Day. Dominic Mysterio, JD, McDonough, Carlito, and Liv are speaking in the parking lot. Finn's not with him because he calls Dom saying he was having travel issues, but I think the words were, "Don't worry, it's handled," were spoken on the phone, and we hang up, leaving us all wondering what got handled. Did we even get an answer to what got handled?
No, I think they forgot.
Because we did not get the answer to what that was handled. First match, though, of the night was Xavier Woods taking on Rey Mysterio. Woods picks up the win with a roll-up here. He accidentally pulled off Rey's mask during the match, causing Rey to, as a luchador, cover his face. And Woods rolled him up and got the win. Accidentally, on purpose. RK, what did you think of this match, and did he mean to do it?
No. Well, yes. Well, no. It is a very heel move to pull off a luchador's mask. That is like the ultimate heel move. It's like it's their entire identity. Although, I mean, we all know what Rey looks like. He did wrestle without a mask for a very long time in WCW. But yeah, of course
we know. I'm just, it's real to me, damn it. It's real to me. We don't know. Speaking of luchadors taking off their masks, just real quick, I saw a clip of Hechicero. He was wrestling in Mexico, and he got the win via DQ because I think you're not allowed to take off luchador's mask. Like, it's a rule in Lucha Libre wrestling in Mexico. Hechicero, in a heel move, took off his own mask, threw it at his opponent. His opponent caught it, and the referee threw the match out.
That's different.
It was different. I assume there's a rule where if you take the Lucha's mask off, you're DQ'd, like it's a sin or whatever. But the heel move was take it off. He threw it at him, and he got the win. It's interesting. Lyra Valkyria is a backstage. She gets confronted by the Pure Fusion Collective, who said they would be at ringside for her match against PFC's own Zoe Stark, and said that Baszler does not bite unless instructed her to do so. Unless she's instructed to do so, I was getting tongue tied because I was just thinking of the moment where I think Zoe put her arm on Shayna, and Shayna was like, "No, don't fucking touch me. Don't do that. Don't do that." Shayna was really good in this segment. Any comments?
I'm like, that's me.
Yeah,
don't fucking touch me.
She was just on her phone, like, all right, fuck off me. So, I'll keep things moving. We get another vignette of a stone.
Actually, I did that at a poker game recently. Some dude reached across the table. I beat him in a crazy hand or something. Rich was like, it's okay, or he beat me or whatever it was. It's I'm like, don't fucking touch me. What the fuck you doing?
Get your hands off me. We get a vignette.
Across the table and fucking touch me. That's fucking weird, dude. Don't fucking touch me.
Answer yourself, all right? Treat this shit like it's COVID again, all right? Keep your distance. There was a vignette of a stone with burning letters again, with a voice saying, "Prepare yourself." All signs indicate to the Viking Raiders or War Raiders, whichever, returning soon to your televisions. Kofi Kingston met with Xavier Woods regarding the finish of that match he had with Rey Mysterio before revealing that Woods would be facing Jey Uso for the WWE Intercontinental title next week on Monday Night Raw. Woods was ecstatic, but said, "Don't worry, we're going to focus on your match later in the show." It was basically just a conversation of the doubt of if Kofi doubting if Xavier did it on purpose or if he didn't do it on purpose, pulling Rey's mask off. Are you a fan of where this New Day storyline has been going?
It got derailed massively with Odyssey Jones because I think that would have worked more because they had the third person to play off of and it would actually help split a lot better.
Yeah.
They're pivoting, but I mean, in the end, Big E's coming back to save this. It's guaranteed.
It has been promoted that their 10-year anniversary is coming up in November. And leading many to speculate if at that 10-year anniversary day, if the split happens, some people are wanting them to win the tag titles on that 10-year anniversary and have a little run. But we'll see. I think something needs to be done with the Raw Tag Team Championships. I know they're called something else, but it's just the Judgment Day's tag titles because it seems very stagnant right now in the tag title picture, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the World Tag Team Champions.
World Tag Team. It just seems very stagnated. They've only defended them once since they won them. And hopefully we get some action soon. Viking Raiders coming back. Maybe that'll help. But we will see. Zoe Stark is going to pick up the win over Lyra Valkyria with her Z360 finish. She also had a really fantastic missile drop kick in this match, proving our case point every time. Zoe is fantastic in the ring. And what do you think of the match itself? And then the afterwards as well, with Lyra getting attacked and Kayden Carter and Katana Chance returning to make the save.
This PFC just sucks.
The name really sucks.
It does. I mean, I don't know what they barely beat Lyra when it was 3-on-1. Barely beat Lyra. Like, there's no dominance in this tag faction or anything. It's just about as low rent of a stable as you can ask for. I mean, what do you want from these? It's horrible. It's not good. I still love Zoe though. I think she's an amazing wrestler.
Yep.
Kayden Carter, Katana Chance is back, which is I like. It's fun. They're fun. I mean, Kayden Carter is well recognized as putting out funny as fuck TikToks with Damian Priest.
Yeah. And Katana Chance I think we say it every time we see her. She is very tiny.
She is a tiny woman.
Very tiny, Katana Chance. For some reason, I just always remember Katana Chance from being on American Ninja Warrior. That's where I remember her from. So, up next, we get the hyping up the main event for the Braun Strowman Bronson Reed Last Monster Standing match. Lyra Valkyria, Kayden Carter, and Katana Chance get interviewed by Jackie Redmond, saying they would go after PFC, Pure Fusion Collective, and they would chase the WWE Women's Tag Titles. They're interrupted by the Unholy Union. They take offense to that and say we're gonna get our titles back, and you guys don't have a chance. I still think the Unholy Union should have the titles, and I'm sure you agree with that.
Yeah, I do. 100%. The Holy Union, Elbow Fire, and Isle of Dawn. I think they're probably the best next to probably the best tag team right now, women's tag team right now, in my opinion.
I think I put them second. I really think Io and Kyrie are over them in my eyes. I just like the style in which Io and Kyrie go with Damage Control. But Unholy Union are fantastic too. That really should
you're
be
entitled to your opinion, even
Yeah.
if it's wrong.
Yeah, whatever.
That's cool.
I knew you were going to say that. But truly, I think that those two tag teams should be the ones going for the titles against each other. I think they put on fantastic matches every week, similar to that of Carmelo and Andrade. I think Bianca and Jay don't need the titles. Bianca certainly doesn't need the
titles. No, they do need the titles because what the fuck else are they going to do with Jade Cargill? Although they're figuring it out. She's been just the last couple matches just power moves.
They're doing it right. That's what
I swear to God, somebody watches us because I think we're one of the ones that said that.
It's true on this podcast. We pitched it. Just let her do the power moves. She'll look good doing her power moves. Make that tag out. Let Bianca do the heavy lifting. Boom, easy, and it works. Up next is the face-to-face segment with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre ahead of the Hell in a Cell match, which we will talk about when we get to Bad Blood. Army of security guards, by the way. Inside Hell in a Cell, they had the Hell in a Cell cage there. Put him in there. Drew McIntyre was wearing all black, and it was... I'm pausing. Oh, I know what you're doing. We'll get there in a second. Drew McIntyre wearing all black out of respect for AJ Lee, Punk's wife. So the Punk would be the one, or Punk was the one that...
I swear to God, he was trying to do a force move on Punk.
It was weird. Drew said that Punk was the one that taught him how to hate, but that hate would die at Bad Blood. Punk responded by saying he was filled with rage every time he saw the sight of Drew, and said he had the intention of sending Drew back to Scotland in a box. Drew saying he was having to sleep in the other room with his wife, that his main obsession was Punk. And then as RK keeps demonstrating, for some reason when Punk was talking, there was a security guard that just kept doing that. Punk wasn't even moving towards Drew, and the security guard was just like, stop. He was one with the force. What did you think of this verbal back and forth? Nobody threw hands. Nobody threw punches. Just the final face-to-face before Bad Blood.
I think Drew said on Twitter or in an interview or something, he says, look what I can do when I actually fucking care about it. More or less saying that. And actually, he's gold on Twitter. Follow that motherfucker. But he finally responded to that picture that got leaked of all the talent before show.
Mm-hmm.
And he was standing next to Punk, and he's going, yeah, I was standing next to him. We were working some shit out. You don't go to your job and act professional next to somebody you hate? Like, we were figuring some shit out.
He's got a point. But yeah, that was actually the perfect response to that picture. That's good on Drew. I think that this face-to-face did its job building that final little step.
I'm sorry. The whole time, all I could do was watch that motherfucker. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? They're not even moving.
Yeah. It did put that final little, all right, here we go. Hell in a Cell match coming at Bad Blood. Can't wait for it. Kathy Kelly interviewed Braun Strowman. Miz interrupts. Miz wanted to talk with Strowman, but they were interrupted by R-Truth. R-Truth said he's been watching and said he got them a match against AOP for next...
No, say it correctly. He's got him a match with AOP.
AOP. We got a match with AOP.
What the fuck is AOP?
And who's AOP? And yeah, so that, and Miz is like, all right, we got a match with AOP. It was AOP.
They're the authors of pain. I don't think I know what books they've written.
I didn't know they were authors. I know they were books. R-Truth's gold. We will, of course, get to that later on. And up next, lost my spot because things messed up. There we go. Kathy Kelly interviewed Sami Zayn, where he said what bothered him regarding his situation with Gunther was the disrespect. Gunther saying he was not on his level hit a sore spot. However, he said he did not lose sleep about it and said he would not stop until he gets his title shot. You all right over there?
I got a bruise.
Sometimes you just never know where they come from. Up next, Judgment Day taking on Latino World Order. Sorry, my computer keeps jacking up, but we're good now. Judgment Day is going to pick up the win on this one.
You have been a little laggy this show, actually.
Have I?
Yeah.
You have two. I wasn't going to say anything, but you have two.
Well, if your computer's jacking up, I think.
This is where we were, hoping to get answers on what the heck was going on. What was getting handled with Judgment Day? Nothing crazy here. Simple match. Finn Balor comes out of the crowd to help Judgment Day pick up the win. The match really isn't what matters here. Finn Balor cut a promo, though, when they came back from commercial break, saying that he did not have a heart and vowed to prove Damian Priest needed the Judgment Day and not the other way around. Liv Morgan followed up by promising that she would beat Rhea Ripley. Rhea interrupted and said Dom was claustrophobic.
Whoa. Liv promises to prove that she is a home-wrecking, man-stealing, greatest champion of all time.
That line is crazy. Rhea says Dom was claustrophobic and this was a trap. All focusing on Rhea on the ramp. Damian attacks the Judgment Day from behind. Liv and Rhea brawl on the ramp. And then Judgment Day lays out Damian Priest in the center of the ring. Balor hits 2 coup de grace on Priest. Just building towards Bad Blood and setting the stage. What do you think of all this chaos, really?
Finn Balor continues to cook, man. I like it. This Damian Finn feud. I heard something today that after Bad Blood went down and all that shit's done now, that they're the Terror Twins, Rhea and Damian, are going to go their separate ways and do their own shit, as they should. They're both huge stars. We'll see what happens, but I think a straight up feud between Damian and Finn for a little bit here, even though I guess it was sort of settled at Bad Blood. I don't know. I want to see more Finn in high profile spots.
I've said it a lot on the show that I really want on one more world title run from Finn. I think he deserves it because he kind of got shafted, got injured on his, being the first Universal Champion. And you do have that in your belt, but you didn't have it for 24 hours. But I think Finn's fantastic. Damian as well. The question I think we all ask post Bad Blood.
Sorry, I'm pausing you. I just remember this part. Watch out for the shoe.
Yeah, that happened. They clearly stole that from AEW.
Anyway, what
the question coming out,
insightful reflection of your soul to our loyal fans.
The question that always gets asked, because we are post Bad Blood, we'll get into the match, is what's next after all of these. And I'm intrigued to see where they go with Finn and Damian both, as well as the Judgment Day. I don't think Rhea and Liv is over. If you saw Bad Blood, you understand what I'm saying. But Finn and Damian probably is, but probably not now. I don't know. It's an interesting situation to be in, but we'll see where we go from there. We get a vignette from Sheamus. Only thing worse than getting hit by a bat was getting hit by someone he used to call a friend. Sheamus said Pete was a dangerous bastard, but said it was time to end things. Sheamus lays out the challenge to Pete Dunne and a Donnie Brooke fight. That is a part of the upcoming Monday Night Raw, as well as the 2 title matches and whatnot. Donnie Brooke fight. Are you excited for this one?
I'm tired, but I am excited. This should be a banner match. I mean, Sheamus only puts on banners.
And Pete Dunne right there with him. Fantastic. Damage Control had a vignette. They officially challenged Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair for the WWE Tag Titles. I think that might be on Monday Night Raw as well. That's where I was getting confused. I thought there was 3 title matches. That could be coming up on Raw. I'll double check that. Chad Gable takes on Kofi Kingston here. Chad picks up the win. It was kind of Xavier's fault. Kofi went for threw Chad off the ropes. Referee's back was turned. Kofi was setting up for trouble in Paradise. Xavier grabbed Chad's leg, causing Chad's momentum to stop and allowing him to set up getting the win over Kofi. Just more seeds with the New Day storyline, really. What do you think of the match?
I was just looking for something in my notes, but no, we haven't missed it yet. Just because of Chad Gable, Wyatt Six. But anyways, nonetheless, this was a good match. I mean, Chad Gable is. I can hear myself again from you.
Keep trying. We'll fix it in a second.
Anyways, Chad Gable's great in the ring. Kofi Kingston is, legend's a strong word, but he's good. Anyways, nonetheless, sorry, I was still just confused by hearing myself and then anyway all that stuff. But you muted yourself now, so I can just talk. This was one of those matches that you knew was going to be good because of going into it, as I just alluded to. The storyline advancement with Woods and Kofi Kingston happened here as well. Everything is it. The match checked all the boxes. Good match, story, all that shit, all together. Yeah, I mean, what more do I really have to say about the match?
We get a recap of what happened the weekend prior, just showing Liv Morgan, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and Seth Rollins. They were all across the NFL landscape. I was in attendance actually at the Colts Steelers game. Drew McIntyre, Liv Morgan were there promoting Royal Rumble coming up in Indianapolis February 1st. Bronson Reed gets interviewed by Jackie Redmond, said he looked forward to seeing Seth Rollins return. However, he vowed to take years off his career if he shows his face again. We have a vignette here, okay, alluded to with the Wyatt Six, with the following message. We see your intent, anger festering into rage. Do not go down this path. It ends in your demise. You know better. Do not force our hand. Heed our domination. What's next? Who's this about? People are saying it's Xavier Woods. I'm not sure. What do you think?
Well, if you're not sure, who do you think?
Woods makes sense, but I want to say we were watching SmackDown and there were the characters from the Funhouse that were in the background and some stuff on SmackDown, correct? As well. There was no determination if they're just on Raw, and I'm trying to think who was in the background of.
Well, maybe this is for Xavier Woods, but he chooses to choose the correct path, and they got to pivot.
The Wyatt Six are just pivoting. They don't know what they're doing. Most people are saying this is about Xavier. I'm trying to think of any other names that come to mind. I mean, they're done with the American Made story. I think that's over with. The one that comes to mind the most, and it's not going to happen, is the Bloodline. I mean, Solo, but that's not. I don't see that happening. I don't see the Wyatts getting involved in that or them having that happen. We'll get into it in a second, but there is somebody that could come to the forefront here in just a second. We'll get into it. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of spoil it here. The Miz turned on R-Truth, his brother, his tag team partner, but it's The Miz. It's The Miz. What'd you expect? But I could be a target for the Wyatts.
It could work. That could work.
I think it's just really, they're so interesting. It's so intriguing. Do you think it's Xavier?
Yes. Everything from that promo would allude to what Xavier's been doing.
Don't go down this path. Yeah.
But like I said, if everything works out correctly and Big E comes back and it's all big happy family, then they pivot towards the Miz.
We get a vignette where they go, "Good choice. You chose the right path. Your story will continue." WWE World Heavyweight Champion Gunther has got a promo where he said the only thing that bothered him was being annoyed by Sami Zayn week in and week out. Sami interrupted, and the easiest way to end the annoyance was putting the world title on the line against him. Gunther would not do this because Sami's saying Gunther wouldn't do it because he's afraid of losing again to him. Gunther agreed, but only because losing to him would be the most shameful thing he had ever done, to the point that at WrestleMania, when he lost to Sammy, he was confronted by his father, saying he flew from Vienna just to see him lose to a bum like Sami Zayn. Gunther said the difference between himself and Zayn was that Zayn's family did not expect much from him, while Gunther's own family expected the best. Because he was the golden goose and vowed to Zayn he would never be champion. Zayn responded saying Gunther disappeared for months after losing the Intercontinental title, before saying that Gunther was currently proving to his dad he was not just a loser, but also a coward. Gunther attacked Zayn, hitting a powerbomb. Gunther then accepted Zayn's challenge for the title, which we have alluded to is happening on Monday Night Raw. What'd you think of this?
Hey, Sammy, the reason he didn't ask for a rematch to a mid-card title is because he's currently the world heavyweight champion there, bud. So that would probably be why.
Bigger fish to fry.
Also, we missed it in the news and you glossed over it here. Before this promo started, they showed some clips of his match with Ilya Dragunov over the weekend, where Dragunov tore his
Yeah, we did.
ACL and will be out for 6 to 9 months.
Yep.
Although
think
this promo itself,
I do want to say on the last week's episode, we were a day late, and I think I did mention it and said we would get into it more. We didn't. We did gloss over it in this episode, but I think I did mention that Ilya got hurt because we were a little behind schedule. But no worries. Yeah, before you talk about the promo, man, it sucks losing Ilya. It really does, because I was hoping something was coming there with him. But I think it's going to make the return even better when he comes back. You know, somebody said get him on the John Cena juice so he can be a surprise entrant at the Royal Rumble.
that won't happen. Torn ACL in 3 months, not happening.
Nope, not a chance. But yeah, the promo itself, though, you always say Gunther is the great classic heel, and it kind of showed here.
Yeah. What more? He's so fucking good. He just belittles everybody around him, and he does it to perfection. So fucking good. Man,
so setting up Sammy Gunther.
Good.
Sammy Gunther. Sammy's probably not beating Gunther, right? No, let's be honest with ourselves here. I don't know. Crazy things have happened on Monday Night Raw recently. We'll see what happens.
I mean, they got an interesting storyline there if they do have him beat him, but
Sammy's never won the world title. That's really the story going into it. And he beat him at WrestleMania.
Well, the story is Gunther can't beat Sammy.
True. He did beat Sammy, though.
Not when it matters.
Yeah, he did. He beat him. He defended his IC title against him and beat him. And then Sammy got that second shot at Mania and beat him. So I guess when it matters,
Sammy's in Gunther's head.
Totally. I'll give you that. That's for sure. Authors of Pain, AOP, or
honestly, I think Sammy should just go on a mission of trying to get Gunther to crack during a promo.
That'd be hilarious. If Triple H tells him, Sammy, if you can make Gunther break character, we'll let you get the title. Simple as that. Do your best. AOP or AOP taking on the team of Awesome Truth. As I alluded to, The Miz turned on R-Truth here and left the match. AOP, of course, taking advantage, pinning R-Truth for the win.
Truth wasn't legal, by the way.
That's what I was saying when we were watching. I'm like, Miz was going to tag him and then just said nope and kicked him and left. So like,
I guess a kick can count as a tag.
He touched, yeah, maybe, I don't know. Miz turning on Truth though. Finally, have we seen this coming?
Yeah, we saw this coming. But I mean, Miz is just better as a heel. Period.
100%. We'll get to the CW debut, and the NXT crowd in Chicago let the Miz know how they felt about him. Imperium. This is before we get to the main event. Kathy Kelly interviews Imperium. Then they were interrupted by Braun Breaker, who just stares at the World Heavyweight title and says, "I'll see you soon." And in this moment, I said, "Do it. Put the title on Braun. Don't care. Do it. Do it. He's the best. He's fantastic." RK apparently just hates Braun Breaker all of a sudden. So, just because he's a babyface.
Don't like him as a babyface. What can I tell you?
Grow up. He's going to be good shit. Let him cook.
Dude, you tell him. We watch
Yes.
wrestling. You're telling me to grow up?
Yeah, well. Okay, maybe that was a little weird. But besides the point.
It's not
Go ahead.
real, you know.
Yeah, it's not real, you
I
know.
don't care. I don't like him as a babyface. I think he sucks as a babyface.
You don't even know what he's like as a babyface.
I don't like it.
You've had it for 2 seconds.
I've seen 5 minutes of it, and I don't like it.
I'm in the case of let him cook. Let's see what happens. Last monster standing match: Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed. Braun is going to pick up the win. This match was what you
Now,
expect.
I bet you he hit on Tiffany Stratton, and that's why they made him a babyface
Okay.
because of Giovanni Vinci.
I don't think that's the case at all.
I think that's the case. Ludwig Kaiser's just getting everybody fucked.
Behind the scenes. Oh, you
Braun
looked at her?
Breaker had a
You looked at
great
her?
fucking. You had a great heel persona going, and it's like, nope, you're babyface now. People are gonna hate you.
Ludwig said,
Sucks to be you.
look, you flirting with Tiffany? All right, watch this. Hey, Trips, take the IC title off and make him a babyface. We're done here. We're done here. Imagine if Ludwig has that much fucking pull. Main event though, as I said, Braun Strowman is going to beat Bronson Reed. A lot of highlights in this match. It's what you expected. Two big men just beating the shit out of each other. Early in the match, we did have, and we spoke about Brian Alvarez's top
I
tier
think
reporting.
I think he was injured in this match.
Yeah, I think Braun tweaked his knee, and he fought through it and he hobbled. But according to Crack Reporter,
I think it might have been a groin though.
okay. Well, Brian Alvarez let us know just in case we didn't have eyes. He got hurt. Really good, hard hitting. What you expected from these two. We had the ring spot with the ring collapsing. The referee taking the ref bump as he should. Bronson was about to his feet when we had the return of Seth Rollins. Curb stomp onto the steel steps, allowing Braun Strowman to pick up the win. What'd you think of the match? And Seth Rollins is back. Now what?
The match was exactly what it needed to be. Just
Yep.
two big dudes fucking destroying shit. The chair spot was kind of wild.
Oh
the
yeah.
the barricade spot where I said last week, you see 715 pounds coming barreling down, get the fuck out of the way. Still
That was
rings
that
true. This match was just fun.
Foreshadowing.
This match was just so much fun. The ring collapse wasn't as spectacular as I was expecting. I think I also heard somebody say that it didn't go exactly as planned. But nonetheless, it's still, you knew it was coming. And some people are complaining about it. Oh, they've done this spot so many times. It's just like, yeah, but it's still fucking cool, man. Just enjoy the shit. Stop criticizing everything. Jesus Christ. It was a fun match.
Yep.
The big thing here though is Seth Rollins. Obviously, the only end game here is Seth versus Bronson Reed. It's happening.
Let Seth do that. I don't want Seth and Punk right off right for the
No, we're gonna get Punk and Ethan Page. Guy ruins locker rooms and he ruins Ethan Page's life.
We're gonna talk about that here in a second, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. That if we're getting the Monday Night Raw tomorrow and Punk comes out to talk and he's like, "I'm coming for you, Gunther," and I hear ego, I'm gonna lose my shit, and I'm probably gonna fucking transfer you like $100. Because good call. I'm joking. I'm not sending you $100, but besides the point. I don't know if Ethan Page is really next. Do you really think they're going to put him on the main
natural
roster?
transition, it works.
We'll talk about what happened at NXT. We're actually, you know what, might as well just hit it over here. NXT on the CW. We'll get to the main event as CM Punk is the special guest referee for Ethan Page and Trick Williams for the NXT title. We kick things off though with Shawn. You know what I just realized, RK? Gonna have to change this graphic. The color scheme's changed for NXT. We are black and silver now. We got the we were shown a new color scheme for NXT, new theme song, all sorts of stuff on the debut for the CW. RK saying, "No, I'm not changing a damn thing. Deal with it. It is what it is." We kick things black and gold brand era. Still my all-time favorite. Probably will be my all-time favorite of NXT. Shawn Michaels kicks off by unveiling a new NXT Championship belt for the men and women, which is
They do look slick though.
silver and black. Triple H makes a surprise appearance, and at the same time they ask, "Are you ready?" So I ask RK, "Are you ready?"
Actually, I'm not. I'm pulling up my notes.
All right. Well, we're waiting. While he pulls up his notes, we kick off the show with the NXT Women's Championship match. It is Roxanne Perez defending against Julia, and these two women put on a hell of a match. Roxanne Perez picks up the win, retaining her title over Julia with a little help from a returning Cora Jade, who took out Julia while the referee was distracted. And yeah, that was the opening match to the debut on the CW. The crowd, by the way, we'll just get it out the way now, were hot the entire night. Chicago was ready to rock and roll. We opened up with a banger.
That place was packed.
Packed. What'd you think of the opening match here, Roxanne Julia?
Great match. Roxanne is good. Julia's everything as advertised. They worked really well together. I get the finish. Obviously, you have to protect Julia. You have to
And
protect
Roxanne.
Here. Am I for the finish? Not really. Yeah, it's cool. Cora Jade's back. I mean, I don't see what the big deal is about her. I didn't watch her any. I haven't seen anything from her. So
well, that's the sad part is I've watched Cora. Cora was the big heel in NXT. We literally got a glimpse of her. We were supposed to get her running.
Oh, we
again.
got a glimpse.
Yeah. Do you remember? It was early NXT when we finally started doing this. There was a women's battle royal to determine the number one contender. Cora Jade was supposed to be in that, but at a house show is when she tore her ACL. Herself and Nikita Lyons actually tore their ACLs around the exact same time.
And
so
they're both back.
You have not gotten Cora Jade to see Cora Jade in action. Cora's fantastic, and I'm intrigued to see where this goes.
I am too. Obviously, it's a safe finish. I'm not a fan of safe finishes. I say pull the trigger and do it.
Yeah. So yeah, now we have Cora Jade back. Stephanie McCool waiting in the wings, and we alluded to it in the. I probably will just skip over it when I go through the rundown here, but we alluded to it in the news. We did a vignette-ish preview of Delta making her way to NXT, and then we reported Halloween Havoc is apparently when she will show up. We get some footage from earlier in the day. CM Punk, Ethan Page, and Trick Williams showing up. Vignette with Axiom and Nathan Frazier playing WWE 2K, and they argue because they can't beat Grayson Waller and Austin Theory in the video game, so they had a game plan by playing that to figure out what they were going to do. CM Punk backstage.
Well, I mean, probably shouldn't play as Grayson Waller and
it was very evident. Theory. Yeah, we've played the game. It was showing the prompts to pin somebody as Austin Theory, and I'm like, well, if you're playing, clearly the only way you get those prompts is if you're anyway. CM Punk promises Ava he's going to call the main event right down the middle. And there's a small moment with Lexis King, and Lexis King needs advice. By the way, Lexis King beard looked crazy. We had the Chicago star in it.
Sick. Shit's tight, man. That shit's tight.
Basically, Punk tells Lexis that he could keep trying to do the right thing as he tried to do against Ora Mensa, or embrace your genetics. And RK, I'm going to steal the words that you continuously say. Somebody's watching this show because RK, every week you preach, just be your dad. Be the loose cannon. Somebody's watching.
I'm telling you, he would get over.
Yeah,
instantly.
I agree. Lola Vice, Jada Parker arguing about their tag team match with Fatal Influence later in the show. Kalani enters the room after they leave and says it's a good thing she has a backup plan. Up next is the street fight between Wesley and Zachary Wentz. This match, in my eyes, delivered. They put each other through some hell here. Wesley, Zachary Wentz. Wes is going to pick up the win. Man, what'd you think of this street fight?
It was exactly what we were hoping for. It was violent. Couple spots, you're just like, Oh,
Why?
oh,
Why?
why? That one Wesley that slam onto the chair chest first was just like, oh.
Yeah, that one is really the big one that made me go, whoa, 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 stop.
I'm not wrapping the chain. It happened twice this weekend, but wrapping the chain around you to do a spot never looks as good as you think it's gonna look. If
Yeah, I see.
anything, the CM Punk spot at Bad Blood was probably the best looking one in a long time. But more often than not, it just doesn't look that good. And I don't know why they always go to it, but that's what they went to here for the finish, and I guess so. But it doesn't look that good. It doesn't really like, did that really help? Great match though. Fucking
Yep.
violent match. Wentz is so good, man.
Yeah,
Wesley is ever so both talented.
I think
Fuckers.
WWE needs to figure out a way to get Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel to NXT full time. But keep them on TNA if you want. That's fine. The Miz hosting Miz TV with Obafemi and Tony D'Angelo. Crowd booing the shit out of the Miz as he turned on R-Truth on Monday Night Raw. Oba and Tony really don't come to blows here. No punches thrown. It's really just the consistency of Tony D'Angelo trying to hype himself up, and Oba reminding Tony that no matter who believes in him and what he believes, they will not be able to fight for you next week in St. Louis. I asked the question then, does Tony get it done? Is he the one to conquer Obafemi?
Yes. The
Yeah,
story arc here says that he has to. Otherwise, it's a blow to Tony. I don't think it's a blow to Oba.
I am okay with it because I think if Oba loses it, he can go after the NXT championship. Oba's fantastic. I mean, he's got a future. He has got a
Basically,
future.
Thanos.
He literally is. He said it. He said he is inevitable. He said the word. I was Leonardo DiCaprio. He did the thing. He did the thing. Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez confront each other backstage. They tease reuniting. So me and RK, of course, speculating Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez teaming together to maybe take on Julia and Stephanie Vacour. Could we see that coming? Be interesting. But I don't know. Would Stephanie even want a team? I think Stephanie's eyes are on NXT Championship. That's it.
I think. You know what? WWE loves to do it, but I think they're going to find a way to spin this into a 4-way.
Ooh, NXT does like to do the multi-woman man matches too. I can see that. Fatal Attractions, JC Jane and Fallon Henley taking on Jada Parker and Lola Vice. Fatal Attraction does pick up the win here. Because Jada Parker is dumb. I don't know how to put this.
Whoa. Don't talk about my girl that way.
Jada and Lola, they just weren't on the same page.
If you didn't see what they were trying to do here, then I question your ability to understand wrestling angles.
It was good. I'm just trying to be. And actually, there wasn't a winner in this match, right?
You're trying to be Dave Meltzer? I don't actually know what's going on.
Okay, we joke a lot and we have fun with each other, but don't ever fucking compare me to that motherfucker again. All right, you crossed the line there.
Don't say stupid shit.
You don't say stupid shit.
I don't.
You just opened your mouth. You're doing it again.
That doesn't even make any fucking sense.
Oh, there it is.
No, you are.
That's kind of where I was going with that. I was trying to get the middle school shots there. This match didn't have a finish because Jada and Lola couldn't get on the same page, as we said. Jada walked out because it seemed like Jada thought Lola was undermining her per se and taking shots at her. Jada walks out. Kalani did have the backup plan. Wait, what? Fatal Influence won this match, right? Fightful has it wrong. I'm not fucking this up.
What the fuck are you on?
Well, I just said what I'm on. It doesn't have a winner here. Did Fatal Influence win, correct? When Jada walked out?
Yes, because they had the stereo running knees to finish her off at 10:57.
Yes. Thank you. Let me read what they have here. Fatal Attraction, JC Jane Fallon Henley versus Jada Parker and Lola Vice. They don't have the winner like they normally do. But I was just mind blanking. Fatal Influence calls out Kalani Jordan after the match. Her backup plan that she had was to bring out the women's tag team champions, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. And we have a 6-women tag team match next week in St. Louis between Fatal Influence and the team of Kalani Jordan, Jade Cargill, and Bianca Belair. I got through it.
Cool. That was rough and cool. This whole match was to do, well, two things apparently, but one was to set up Vice versus Parker, and the other one was to set up this 6-man tag team.
Yep.
6-woman tag team.
Yeah, that's what happened. And I think coming out of this, we're supposed to go, okay, Jada's the bad guy, Lowe's the good guy. And I'm on Team Jada.
I don't give a fuck. Jada kicks ass. She's really good. She's really fucking good. Just a little annoying at times.
She does talk too much sometimes, but whatever. Kalani Jordan, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, did that. Javon Evans cuts a promo. He's facing Randy Orton next week on NXT on the CW. I guess I don't have to say that every time now. They're on the CW now. But they're St. Louis. Randy Orton, Javon Evans. I'm actually really looking forward to that for one reason and one reason only, and that is Javon Evans. And Randy said
he's gonna eat the most epic cutter RKO ever.
I can't wait. I'm intrigued to see what we come
fucking Javon's gonna like bounce from the top rope or some shit, and fucking Randy will be like jumping from the corner top rope, and he'll like catch him midair and just be like, wow.
It's gonna be great because Javon's gonna get fucking hyped, and Randy's just gonna probably be so excited. We're gonna see Randy like very happy after he hits it.
His eyes are gonna light up like a fat kid seeing a box of Smarties.
Do you remember when Randy like went off script and like jumped to the ring and then did like he jumped up and touched his toes in the air and it was like, whoo, yeah. That's Randy we're gonna get when he hits this RKO. I'm just looking forward to it. As we mentioned, the Delta vignette happens. The NXT Championship match, CM Punk special guest referee Trick Williams taking on the champion Ethan Page. Trick Williams gets the win and is your new NXT champion, 2-time NXT champion. This was a good match for the NXT championship. Ethan Page, great. Trick looks good. It wasn't the match of the night. But what did you think? Well, in my opinion, it wasn't. Let's see what you think of it.
It was a good match, but it never got to that next level for a title match. And I think that had a lot to do with there was no chance Page was retaining this match. There was no chance.
Going into it, I thought there was a chance, to be honest. But once that match got going, you if you felt it.
It was a good match, but I mean, it just never, and that, like I said, it has a lot to do with, the outcome of the match. There was no way. But that being said, I was quite surprised that Punk didn't really get involved in any way.
No involvement. Just a simple couple moments of the usual 1, 2, 3, 4 count. All right, get off to both competitors. But as the confetti fell, Ethan Page shoves CM Punk, who responded by hitting him with a GTS, and the new champion celebrates as we go off air. People were ripping this apart, by the way, on the internet, saying, oh, of course Punk had to be in the spotlight there. New champion, and you're just in the middle of the ring hitting a move. Motherfucker, it's a special guest referee match. It happens. That's what the fucking happens. Shut up, grow up. People, the hatred for CM Punk from AEW fans is laughable to me. It really
They're
is.
Just pissed off that
they
should, if anything, the fans should be pissed off at Tony Khan for fucking up his moment with CM Punk.
What it boils down to is Tony Khan picked Jack Perry over CM Punk. Technically, when you really look at it. And the Elite to a point, Bucks, but CM Punk was a bigger draw than all of them.
Which, you know what? Fine, make your choice, but for fans not to clue in is that where Punk was, how he's being treated there, and why he would do what he did, and now seeing him in WWE, and he's getting nothing but praise from everybody except for Ethan Page, obviously. But after this match, he told all the fans that, hey, Go out and
Yeah.
we got pizza for you. He bought pizza for everybody.
And he didn't just buy any pizza. He bought Lua. I'm going to butcher it. It's a Chicago-based pizza company. That's good shit. He spent some money. And Cody Rhodes, I was watching, I think it was the Randy Orton interview. If you haven't seen the Cody Rhodes documentaries, the Cody Rhodes little podcast interviews he does people, he did one with Randy.
Well, don't go into that in like a bad emotional state because you'll just cry.
I haven't finished it yet. But I think Cody had said, the post-match stuff, he's like, I really don't know like what I have to do. Like Punk bought ice cream bars and stuff. Like, is that the staple? Do I have to buy food for the fans? Yeah, Punk's prone. He bought the ice cream bars when he came back to AEW and in Chicago.
Like the dude's talking, and Shawn Michaels recently said, "Yeah, if that's the step Punk wants to take, I'll happily, when he's ready,
Yep.
transition him to take over my spot."
Yep. I think that's gonna happen. I pretty
Like,
confident
this is not a guy that sounds like he's an absolute locker room cancer.
According to Ethan Page, he's known to ruin locker rooms, and now my life.
Well, like I said, except for Ethan Page, but he has a reason.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the debut on the CW for NXT. They have one more show on the road, St. Louis, and then they'll be back to what has been reported. We talked about it last week. Will be a
Completely new performance
NXT
center.
NXT Performance Center will be brand new. I'm intrigued to see what that looks like. Before we continue on here, we got AEW coming up next. What did you think overall the debut on the CW for NXT?
They did what they had to do. They put on a very entertaining show, albeit a little predictable, and I feel what was a kind of a weak finish for the women's title. Overall, is start to finish, it wasn't a boring. Like there wasn't any moments where I was like, "Can this just hurry the fuck up?" Um, Raw had a couple of those moments. We'll get into Dynamite, which is just a shit show as per usual. Uh, SmackDown definitely had some of those moments.
Yeah.
And honestly, Bad Blood had those moments. It wasn't a great week for wrestling, but NXT, it was probably the strongest show in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just by there wasn't any point where I was like, "Can this just hurry along?"
Mm-hmm. All right, let's do it then. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite. This is the 5-year anniversary show for Dynamite here. We kick things off with Jon Moxley, Marina Shafir, Pac, and Claudio discussing Wheeler Yuta's impending decision on whose side he'll be on. Pac saying that Wheeler is a lion, not a fluffy, cute animal. Claudio tried appealing to their history together, saying that he and Mox are the same guys they've always been, and that Yuta has a home with them. Marina said something in Russian, and then Moxley took over from there, saying he prayed that Danielson would never win the AEW World title, but since that is the case, he has to do what he has to do, and he will give whatever it takes to make sure that he is the one who takes the title off Danielson. Mox threatened that there would be casualties, but he is giving Danielson a chance to go out on his shield and be buried in his own backyard in Washington, referring to what Wrestle Dream. Mox says he will relieve Danielson of his duties for good on October 12th. That's how we kicked off the 5-year anniversary show. What did you think of this promo?
This promo when first watching it was good. Interesting. I'm sorry, I'm just blanking on the start. I'm more focused on their second promo, which just kind of hit a little differently. Their second promo was way better than this promo, but this promo did what it had to do. I mean, Jon Moxley is doing what Jon Moxley does, and when he first came back, it was a little confusing what he was up to, but now it's all kind of coming together. And when we see the appearance of Shane McMahon, it'll all finally make perfect sense. But for now, yeah, anytime Jon Moxley's on the mic, you're having a good time.
All right, man. Let's do this. AEW International Championship. Will Ospreay, Ricochet. It's going to end in a no contest.
Oh shit! Sorry. The whole part where apparently Taz was attacked now for the night and Nigel McGuinness had to take over. There was what came out about that was they did that because Taz needs to have apparently major knee surgery, and so they had to find a way to write him off TV.
I remember actually reading a while back that Taz's knees were pretty bad shape. I think somebody told me that actually when I watched Dynamite live in person. One of the cameramen I knew was like, "Yeah, Taz is struggling. You could see him walking, and you could see it."
But apparently he's off to get major knee surgery.
Okay.
So
All right, here we go. AEW International Championship. Will Ospreay defending his title against Ricochet. It ends in a no contest twice, technically, kinda.
ends in a
Pinfall, a draw, and then a restart and a no contest.
DQ.
The match. Okay, for those of you that are watching this podcast, I guarantee you have seen Will Ospreay and Ricochet's match that took over the internet years back.
2015.
It was very similar. These two are fantastic in the ring. We know this. There's nothing really to talk about the in-ring action. We know what you're getting here. We have got to talk about this double pin. Made no sense. And to clarify, this ruined the show for me. Right then and there, I was done. The Ospreay hit a move on Ricochet and like fell on him.
No, what happened? So they both did Poison Ranas.
Yes.
And then Will Ospreay hit Ricochet with the Poison Rana, Ospreay popped back up right away. Again, the no sells in AEW is something else, but let's disregard that for a minute. Ricochet popped back up, hit a Poison Rana instantly on Will Ospreay. He popped back up, hit him blade Ricochet, but out of pure exhaustion from taking all the moves, he like falls back on Ricochet with his Ospreay's shoulders to the mat as well. And the ref looks all confused, which I don't know why. Ospreay is technically pinning Ricochet at the point, and he does 2 fucking counts, but nobody's pit. So
Ricochet was not pinning
the logic of AEW right now is anytime any person's shoulders are on the mat, the ref has got to start counting.
Yeah, I was so confused and irritated at this. Ricochet is on the mat with his shoulders on the ground. As you said, Ospreay's like draped over him. Yes, his shoulders on the ground, but he is on top of Ricochet. Any person with their right mind that watches this go, okay, well, he's covering him. 1, 2, 3. Well, Ospreay wins. How in the fuck? Ricochet wasn't moving. He didn't even have a leg hooked. Nothing. How is that a double pin? I don't know. It was stupid. It ruined Minor Arcade's mood. I can tell you that right now. And then you restart the match for 5 more minutes, only for Konosuke Takeshita to come out and attack both men, posing over them with the International Championship belt. I'm okay with that, with Takeshita being involved. You didn't have to do the stupid double pin thing. You could have just had Takeshita do that, and it would have been fine. That's how we started AEW Dynamite. I guess I don't need to ask you what you thought because you just did.
Well, the match was great.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of was like,
up until 15 minutes and 55 seconds.
Yeah, and that was the ending.
They could have gone with. So they could have done that same spot, and the ref goes to pin count, and he's like, his shoulders down too. This isn't a pin. I'm not counting, right? Starts a double count or something, and then Takeshita comes up.
That would work.
To call both of them pin when Ospreay wasn't pinned.
No.
At this, like I said again, at this point, anytime a guy's shoulder on the mat, that ref should start counting 1, 2, 3, because that is all that says. You could have done it so many different ways, and it would have worked out better. Just have the ref start a double count or something like a 10 count, but a double. There was no fucking. It's just annoying. They could have found so many different ways to get Takeshita the DQ to set up the triple threat for Wrestle Dream. Any other way, but that way, just even the crowd, even actual fans of AEW were like, "What the fuck was that?"
Sorry, a little news. Powerhouse Hobbs is cleared to return for AEW.
Oh yeah, I should probably. Yeah, that was like I heard about that a few days back, but.
And I just got distracted by an article, a full-length article. If you want to check it out, it's free on Fightful. It was posted yesterday. In-depth very, very in-depth reporting on the Penta Lucha Bros situation. And this is a big one I wanted to point out. I was just kind of glancing over it before I continued. The discussion of contract tampering. There is no oversight or league that could do much about contract tampering. So
Thank
basically,
you.
it is
Thank you. Did I not say that like a
yeah,
month ago? How
it
can there
is
be contract tax? It's not even a fucking, it's not a legit league. It's fucking two
yeah.
companies. It's no different than another electrical company going to me when I'm working for someone and go, hey, you want to come work for us? We'll pay you more. Okay, I quit. See you later. I'm going there.
Okay, they went on to say, if you ever listen to a Bruce Pritchard podcast, he'll reference asking about talent's contract status
There's an
when they would
unwritten rule.
inquire about work with WWFE in the past. For those wondering, adding injury time has become common within AEW, WWE, and TNA.
They have a contract. If they break that contract, there's probably a fine to pay, but
You can probably get
nonetheless.
sued or whatever. So yeah, that's
I just never understood the contract tampering angle because you guys aren't a legit, like, you don't have an over governing system. You're not like the NHLPA or the
right.
MLBPA or the
And that goes
NFLPA
for
or whatever.
WWE and AEW. There's no contract tampering isn't a thing. It's just
It's
not a thing.
just it's
Yeah.
an unwritten rule. Bruce Pritchard has said on his podcast many times, like, yeah, if a guy comes up to us and they're under contract, we say, come talk to us when your contract is done. That's
Mhm.
just an unwritten rule. It's a fair play thing, but in the end, there's nothing can be fucking done about it.
Right.
Like
Uh-huh.
for Tony Khan to sit there and go, oh, their contract tampering. It's like,
Shut up.
what are
Shut
they
up.
contract? They're talking about signing a contract after their contract's done. It's not like they're breaking their contract. And if they are, you can sue them.
Mhm. Sorry to go off track there, but that caught my eye, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna click on it. Mercedes Monet airs a vignette of her own highlights. MVP stops by, gives her his business card. TV time with Chris Jericho would see Chris Jericho challenge Mark Briscoe for the Ring of Honor World Championship at Wrestle Dream. Briscoe came out and had some fun with the word of the day, which was consequential. Jericho said that Mark Briscoe could never beat him.
Fuck, you didn't even
Because
have to look that one up. You knew what that meant right away.
yeah, I did. I'm getting better. Jericho said that Mark Briscoe could never beat him because you're not as good as your dead brother Jay Briscoe.
I popped. At the same time, I was also like, whoa.
Yep. Things got serious. Obviously, Mark punches Jericho in the mouth and accepts the challenge. Yeah, I was like, okay, okay, Chris, Jesus. Oh man. Adam Page attacks Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn backstage while they're getting interviewed by Renee Paquette. Darby Allin vignette issuing an open challenge for Wrestle Dream. We get Hangman versus Juice Robinson. Hangman.
Whoa.
What?
You're just gonna you really do hate Darby Allin.
I don't hate Darby Allin.
Well, you just glossed over this whole awesome promo he cuts where he's talking about how
Oh yeah, whatever.
he could be the guy, and you're just like, no, he can't be the guy. I'm just gonna not even talk about it.
Well, talk
I
about
don't like Darby Allin.
talk about your all-time favorite wrestler then, Darby Allin.
He's not my all-time favorite wrestler, but for the fact that you think that he's the modern day Mankind. When all the people that said Mankind couldn't hold the title in WWE, he held it, and he did a damn good job of holding it. Darby Allin's modern day Mankind. I'm sorry, he simply is.
Yeah.
He is the guy that does all the crazy shit, is loved by the fans, and deserves his moment.
Okay. I'm sorry, but if the rumors are true that he put his hands on Gigi Dolan, I have nothing to say about Darby Allin.
Rumors.
Oh well. Rumors are rumors.
So you're gonna instantly jump on that train of guilty, not until proven innocent.
Will take Gigi Dolan's words to fact. I'm joking. I can't play the character. I do like Darby Allin. I'm sorry I glossed over it because Fightful did not actually go in depth on it. So if you would like to, please do. Because I know there was a really good line about him being on a bus and 3 individuals.
Yes. So
yeah, go ahead.
He talks about riding a bus in Washington. One day, 3 guys took turns spitting at the back of his head.
Mhm.
Allin tried to keep calm, but eventually got in their faces and wasn't scared of the knife the guy was holding. It was broken up, but that's what he was thinking about when Jon Moxley and Allin weren't ready to be. When Jon Moxley said Allin wasn't ready to be the face of AEW, saying that, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
I was joking around, but I do actually echo him. I don't think he can be. It's just how I feel. I don't think he's the guy to be a world champion for AEW, but it's AEW.
The guy that goes out there and gives 110% every match to entertain you is not the guy to be the face of a company.
I mean, when you put yourself through whatever, sure, I guess, and try and kill yourself.
So you were in the same boat of Mankind shouldn't be world champion.
I wasn't really paying attention then, but I guess I would have been, but probably not because the promos Mankind cut were really cool.
So Darby Allin's promos suck now too? Holy shit, you do hate this guy.
Well, Darby Allin fucking sucks.
All right, fair enough.
Darby Allin's really
like what
good.
you like, even though it's wrong. Just like what you like.
Right, yeah. Goldberg was better than Bret Hart. Anyway. I was foreshadowing to what happens at Bad Blood.
What's the odds that Goldberg costs Gunther the title tomorrow?
Please God, no. Please God, no.
What's the odds? Like,
well, he wouldn't cost him. He wouldn't cost him. I guess he could
cost him, and then WWE gets their Sammy versus Cody at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, that's happening. We'll talk about that in a bit. I don't know. Apparently, in the press conference, people said that kind of Triple H was kind of like hinting a little bit at Gunther Goldberg.
Goldberg's coming back for one more match. You know it's fucking happening. They wouldn't have focused so much on him if he wasn't.
Yeah, I agree with you. We'll talk about it here in a minute. Hangman, Juice Robinson. Hangman's going to pick up the win here, but what matters is Jay White's back, thankfully. Just give him a microphone, let him cook, and somebody will scream, "Who wrote this shit?" from the crowd.
Don't steal my line.
It's not stealing your line. It happened.
Well, yeah, but I'm the one who brought it up when you said those exact same words, and then I'm like, "Who wrote this shit?"
Yeah. Renee Paquette was waiting for the scapegoat bus to arrive, and as does Jack Perry is met by Katsuyori Shibata, who played a message from his phone challenging him to a TNT title match at Wrestle Dream. Perry said he'll think about it, steps away for a second, and then returns immediately and assaults Shibata, accepting his challenge. Jack Perry, Shibata, title match, Wrestle Dream. Does that move you?
Did we talk about Hangman Page versus Juice Robinson?
I didn't really talk about the match itself. I kind of focused on. I guess I didn't ask your opinion on it because
no, that's fine. Point. Because honestly, it's another one of those examples of a match is that it shouldn't take that long for the big star to win.
Agreed. Yeah, I did gloss over it and just focus on the fact that Jay White was back. Shibata, Jack Perry, do anything for you?
No.
Okay.
Not even close.
All
if anything, it gives me heartburn.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's the main event. I forgot what the main event was. Bryan Danielson cuts promo on Jon Moxley hyping up his match in the main event against Kazuchika Okada. Britt Baker's back on TV and gets a win over Serena Deeb. The focus of this match was an injured knee of Britt Baker.
What the fuck is it with AEW putting these matches together and then making them like 10, 12 minutes long? Again, Britt Baker should just mop the floor with Serena Deeb. I'm sorry.
Queen Aminata.
AEW is infamous for this shit. They refuse when they do squash matches. It's only against fucking Ring of Honor talent or local talent. But
Mhm.
you can't have Britt Baker come in and beat Serena Deeb in 5 minutes. Is that not allowed?
No. Nope. Serena Deeb's fantastic. Serena Deeb's dojo. I don't know. Queen Amanada makes the save after Deeb continued to attack the injured knee of Britt after the match. Hook, as we talked about with Taz, what's really going on, knee surgery, as RK said. Hook gives an update though, saying his father was attacked by a mystery assailant, saying you don't start shit, you can't finish. We'll see who that mystery assailant is. Any idea? What do you think? Bobby Lashley? Maybe that'll be the thing. And have Hook beat Bobby Lashley?
Oh God, they would do it too.
They would do it. That's why I'm saying it.
Oh
Christian
my God, why I didn't even think of that? But now that's probably actually.
Christian Cage cuts a promo, promises to be the champion soon. We'll have everyone hook, line, and sinker. Do you think Christian Cage will actually be the AEW World Champion?
No.
You think cash in little contract thing will fail? Once he puts pen to paper, it's binding and it has to happen. The match for the title. It's their money in the bank, obviously, but
No, I know. I'm just.
it's. I know you know. I was just kind of thinking it in my head as I was thinking. I don't know. I really don't. If Christian Cage is actually going to be AEW World Champion, or is that when like Kill Switch turns on him? Even though Kill Switch, as we talked about, is not available at the moment. I don't know. I really don't. But think of it.
I don't think so.
But think of it. AEW World Champion Christian Cage coming out there in a turtleneck, cutting those heel promos every week.
No, I would love it, but I just don't think that they would do it. But
I don't think so.
I'm just trying to think how it makes sense because either it'd have to be against Danielson, Moxley.
I mean, he could always just Mox and Danielson beat the fuck out of each other, and then he just runs out there and he's like,
Well,
okay.
That's the whole point of it. But
Are you talking about who he defends against?
Well, no, but who he beats. But it just
Probably just pins.
it just seems weird. I don't think it works.
Private Party.
But it is AEW, and they do a lot of things that don't work. So
yes,
probably.
Renee Paquette is backstage with Mariah May. Mariah stated that Willow Nightingale is falling upward and receives a championship match. Receiving what? Is falling? Good God. I say it every week. I do have to take my own notes. Receive a championship chances despite Willow continuously losing. Willow recently lost the CMLL title. Willow stepped to her, and then the confrontation got physical. Willow versus Mariah seems to be what's coming next for the AEW Women's World Championship. I will really want Willow to win that.
Just Tony Khan burying another strong black woman.
Oh, are we allowed to talk about that? Oh no, we don't talk. No, only that only matters if it's WWE, dude. What are you doing here?
That's right. It's only Triple H hates black people.
Yep. Private
Fucking
Party
joke. Willow Nightingale should be the women's champion. She is amazing. She is probably one of the strongest women they have on their roster.
Agreed.
And I'm talking about mic skill, charisma, in-ring work. It's a far cry. She has developed into such a great star in a matter of like 8 months. Because I remember you and I watched her one of her very first matches, like back in January, and we're like, "Oh my god, that's not good." Out of nowhere, it might have just been a bad match, but I've not seen a bad match from her since. And she is phenomenal, and she should be the world champion. Mariah May has been boring as fuck as champion. Really starting to think that Toni Storm did carry her throughout that entire feud.
She did. Everything RK just said, 100%. Private Party gets a win over the Iron Savages. That match did not matter at all. Private Party challenges Matthew and Nicholas Jackson to attack.
Wow, did I just say that earlier that they will only bury squash matches to enhancement talent and Ring of Honor
I
talent?
think I think the Iron Savages are Ring of Honor talents. I don't know.
Probably. They lost in a minute, so that's almost a guarantee they were.
Yeah. They challenged the Young Bucks to a tag team championship match. Right then and there, the Young Bucks appear. Teasing accepted the challenge, but then they cut themselves off and said they wouldn't waste their time in
That
Pittsburgh.
was good. That
Jack
was no,
Perry,
they one of their dates in Pittsburgh.
one of their dates, yes. Jack Perry attacks Private Party from behind. Shibata makes the save. Daniels makes a match between all 6 of them for this Friday's episode of Rampage in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. For those of you that know, they record Rampage
Right after.
so they were still in Pittsburgh, so it kind of made sense. Anyway, MVP appears backstage with Ray to make his special announcement. He was about to introduce someone when Prince Nana interrupts and said he would get back in the ring for a match with MVP. MVP said he doesn't handle those types of issues, but my surprise guest will handle complaints, and he introduces Shelton Benjamin. Benjamin takes a drink of Nana's coffee, told him it was good, and they walk off and leave Nana looking very like, what the hell just happened? Shelton Benjamin has arrived.
Are we getting Shelton Benjamin versus Prince Nana?
No, I don't think so. I think that'll be. I think we're getting.
I've heard of worse ideas.
Yeah, but I think Swerve's going to come back, and his feud on the return is going to be MVP's group of Shelton and Bobby Lashley.
Shelton. Oh, Swerve versus Bobby could be good.
All right, main event time.
Well, going to this match, we knew it would be longer than 20 minutes.
Yeah. AEW World Championship versus the AEW Continental Championship. Continental title is only online for the first 20 minutes. And as the AEW fans say, well, the Continental matches are only 20 minutes. So, that's why they did that. No shit. And obviously, guess what?
I'm glad to see that it's impossible that AEW insult the intelligence of their own fans because, well, anyways.
They totally were.
Anybody with the ability to understand how anything works can see that the Continental title was never on the line in this match, ever.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. We knew. It's just stupid. Anyway, to be fair, I think this was one of the matches where we were done with AEW and we kind of skipped through this one. I'm sure Danielson and Okada did a good job.
But okay. Full disclosure, yes, we did not watch this match really of anything. We watched the finish because we knew it was going to be at least 20 minutes long. It went for 31 and 42 minutes long. 31 minutes and 42 seconds. Okada and Danielson, from a certain point, their first 2 matches, first being at Forbidden Door, second being at Wrestle Kingdom. Great matches if you like that style of wrestling.
Yep.
Fantastic matches. Both 5-star matches, I'm almost positive. I think one got higher than 5 stars. Not my cup of tea for wrestling. It's a little too slow, a little too methodical. It is what it is. But nothing taken away from those fantastic matches. I'm sure this match, on par with that, absolutely a technical masterpiece. Again, not my cup of tea. I like technical wrestling, but not 31 minutes straight of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's about it. Just wanted to point. I respect the shit out of both of them. They're both fantastic wrestlers for the way they wrestle. But I've never been on that hype train of Okada being one of the best wrestlers in the world. I can understand why some people would say that, and I think he definitely has the history to say that. His accomplishments in the business are unparalleled to a lot of people. But it's just I've not watched outside of Okada and Omega. I've not, and again, that's because Omega's style is just top tier, the best ever. I've not been a fan of Okada's style of wrestling. I'm not a fan of Bryan Danielson's current style of wrestling. When he mixed the technical and the fast paced and the crazy, stuff, Danielson was one of the best. But his current style, and he can't do all that shit anymore, and I get it. Right. But it's just Okada's never been my cup of tea, and Danielson's current style. So this match just
Yeah.
mixed
So
in with the stipulation and the two styles of wrestling. I was not going to enjoy this match, period. But I'm sure this match was a fantastic match.
So Danielson does, of course, not get the job done in 20 minutes. And then Claudio and Danielson, Claudio shows up, allowing a bit of a distraction situation. Brian Danielson gets the win with the backslide.
And I can't believe they finished this match with a backslide, though. Like, seriously?
They did. Okada attacked Danielson and dipped. Said, fuck this shit, I'm out. Danielson was then jumped by Mox, Pac, and Claudio. Danielson gets saved by Wheeler Yuta, who issues issues a challenge next week for Pac and Claudio. They don't have in this with basically this is where Mox says, "You think I want to do this? You think I want this?" You know, basically insinuating that there's a higher person than Mox to make him do this, and that's what's led to the speculation in the comments all night from us talking about is it Shane McMahon? So
cool
about the match
finish here.
After all that,
after all this, but the match, whatever. Yeah. This ending part, Jon Moxley cuts the promos like, "You think I want to do this? I have to do this. It's what has to happen." All that stuff. It makes you think somebody's pulling the strings. 99% sure it's Shane McMahon, because if it isn't, who the fuck is it? But nonetheless, disregard all that. The interesting part takeaway with this was Yuta and Claudio. So Claudio and Yuta kind of scuffled, but if you watch this, Claudio didn't throw one punch or anything. He was just kind of pushing him off.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting story being told there that Claudio still has a ton of respect for Yuta, and they were talking about that, but Yuta's on this path of not wanting to be a part of this whole thing. But it's just interesting dynamic. It makes you wonder. You almost think I almost think Claudio's gonna flip flop here and end up on Yuta's side.
Be interesting. We'll see. And then there was the moment where Mox kind of didn't want to go after Wheeler either. He kind of stayed back and didn't make the move as well. So that's a wrap on the 5-year anniversary of AEW Dynamite. Not great in my eyes. Not great at all. We'll see what happens next week on AEW Dynamite. Let's get into SmackDown. We're almost done here. We got SmackDown and Bad Blood to get into to follow. WWE Friday Night SmackDown from October 4th. Headlined by the WWE Tag Team Championship Triple Threat Ladder Match. We kick things off with Hardy welcoming Nashville. He is a Nashville resident, and he introduces the phenomenal forearm, AJ Styles. I think he misspoke him to say, of course, a phenomenal one, but he said phenomenal forearm, AJ Styles introduced him.
Well, he does have a phenomenal forearm, though.
He does. AJ comes and reflects on how it was fitting he made his return to the city of Nashville and said he was focused on rebuilding his legacy starting tonight. He understood that there were people backstage that were probably, he unhappy with his past things, but he had to remind them that SmackDown is the house that AJ Styles built. He's interrupted by Carmelo Hayes. Hayes said he was not surprised there was no line of people welcoming him back, but he would take the pleasure to do so. Hayes said he had held SmackDown down while he was gone, and he deserved to be the WWE United States champion. LA Knight comes out. Wait, what? Brother, their shit is fucked on this one.
Why do you trust them every week?
Because it's easy and it's saved on my desktop and I can just click it.
It's easy. Yes. I don't want to put any work in for this podcast. I'm joking. That was a joke. Laugh. Ha ha.
Ha ha. Hilarious. Styles challenges Hayes to a match. Hayes rejects the challenge. However, out comes United States champion LA Knight.
But okay, how he rejected the fight was kind of, he's like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm right. This evokes LA Knight to come out and basically lay out the challenge and saying there was two options. I could come down there, punch you about 4 or 5 times, or you can get in the ring, face AJ Styles. You win, you get a shot at the United States title, and that leads to the opening match. Before we get to the match, we get a vignette of a fast car driving through the streets with some, flashing lights and whatnot. With the following text appeared: "Coming soon. This is rumored to be the Motor City Machine Guns. They are not going to NXT. They're coming to the main roster." How much you don't know much about MC Motor City Machine Guns, do you?
Nope.
They were a TNA staple tag team. They're actually one of the better tag teams in the world of pure tag team athletic wrestling. So I'm intrigued to see them. It'll help out the division for sure. Carmelo Hayes, AJ Styles kicks off with the first match of the night. It ends with referee stoppage. We had to call off the match here. AJ Styles' knee injury angle happened, or if it's legit or not. We're not entirely sure here, but what did you think? I think it's story, but
Well,
there was a weird little tweak.
Kathy Kelly reported today that he has to go for an MRI because it's possibly tore a ligament in his foot.
Okay.
So either they're trying to. Kathy Kelly reported it at some point. I read it. Nonetheless, either they are really pinning it as a storyline injury, or he legit. Because there was that one spot when he went to do the backbreaker and he landed low on it, and it looked like his foot twisted pretty bad. Anyways, nonetheless, that's all I've read, is that he has to go for an MRI because he may have torn a ligament in his foot.
That would suck. I don't know what the timeline.
But it could also be storyline and just be like, the storyline of how much have him question how much does my body have left in me. It could be a storyline.
Maybe. LA Knight comes out and he hits probably the greatest BFT on Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo just took it and just basically.
Why would you take it like that though?
The top of his head. It was hilarious. We get a video package hyping up Roman Reigns.
It's like I think Chris Van Vliet told us a story about that once, how he took a DDT and instead of taking it correctly, he took it on the top of his head, and he for a moment there he was like, "Oh shit, do my toes work? Do my fingers work? Okay, we're good."
Yeah. We get a video.
When you take a DDT, you're supposed to just lay out flat, basically, just take it, right? But some guys will jump into it, and when you jump into it, your head hits first. But you're just supposed to lay flat when you take a DDT.
We get a video previewing the main event of Bad Blood, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes taking on the Bloodline. The dumpster match, hyped up for weeks. Michin taking on Chelsea Green. This was what you expected. It was a very fun match between these two. A couple cool spots, and the finish came with a wild powerbomb through a table that was draped over the dumpster from Michin to Chelsea Green. Michin picks up the win here. Yeah, good match. What'd you think?
This match was fun. Chelsea Green continues to do Chelsea Green stuff, and she does it perfectly every time. She is comedy gold in the ring. All her mannerism, all her reactions to everything, they're perfect. Michin with a big win here. I want to see them actually give Michin some real accolades. She's doing all this work, and I just feel like they're just not going to go anywhere with it, which would be a waste because Michin is good. She got the win here, but I don't know. I'll see it when I believe it that they're actually giving her a push, or they're just using her because she is a workhorse. But I think she deserves a shot, man, like a legit shot, even maybe holding that title.
We'll see. I'm totally with that. I like Michin. Up next, Naomi shown training for Bianca and Jade and inform her that she'll be the third host of Bad Blood in Atlanta. Bayley appears and guarantees that to Naomi that if she wins and beats Nia, that Naomi would get the title match, be the first to get a title match. This leads to Bayley coming to the ring to cut a promo. She calls out Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton at Nia's side. Bayley put over Jax as a dominant champion, but said the two things would happen. Either she would regain the title from Jax on Bad Blood, or Tiffany Stratton would stab Nia in the back and cash in her women's Money in the Bank briefcase. Stratton said she did not need the briefcase, but basically Bailey was pushing it as, you know, the only way that Tiffany could beat you is if she cashes in. She can't beat you one-on-one. Tiffany took offense to that, saying she did not need the briefcase to beat Nia, which made Nia go, "Excuse me, what?" And Jackson Stratton tried to attack Bailey. Bailey threw Stratton out the ring. Attacked Nia with the briefcase. Stratton contemplated cashing in on Nia here. She stopped herself before Nia left the ring. You're looking at me like I missed something. Did I miss something?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Only the part where Tiffany called Bailey Pam in her promo.
Yeah.
And Bailey came back with, "You're a stupid bitch."
Yeah, that was good. That was good shit.
Although if you go back and watch that again, when Tiffany calls Bailey Pam, her real name, Bailey cracks for us. So she breaks for a second. She has to like.
Yeah, it was weird when Tiffany called her Pam. I was like, wait, why? That made no sense.
I think she fucked up because Bailey broke. She cracked.
Maybe it was just an accident. And
Natalya did that to Natalya in a promo earlier this year. Did the same thing to Bailey. Called her Pam.
Are they?
And then Bailey, "Oh, is that true, Natty?"
Are we just running around backstage and it's Pam to everybody? Pam, Pam, Pam. Interesting.
I think it is.
Maybe it is. Maybe nobody calls her Bailey backstage. Chelsea Green is shown walking around backstage, and she comes across Pretty Deadly, Los Garzas, A-Town Down Under, and they're all stopping in their tracks, gagging. Chelsea is covered in dumpster juices per se. She sees Nick Aldis, who is disgusted at Chelsea's scent and kind of tells her to leave. Carmelo Hayes shows up.
Well, he didn't just tell her. He had like some major dad jokes, like 3 in a row, and Chelsea was just like,
"Yeah, that match really stunk for you." Carmelo shows up demanding a title shot for the U.S. title after the events tonight, but Aldis said he wanted to wait for the status of AJ to make a decision. And then right before we went to commercial, Carmelo appeared back in scene and gave a nice little, and thought Nick Aldis was the one that smelled like garbage. This was just comedy gold, truly, with Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green, Aldis plays it so well. Like Aldis even going to Hayes and "Can't believe you're calling that a win, but I have to go check on AJ."
What do we got? Naomi, Tiffany Stratton. Naomi's going to pick up the win with a stacked crucifix pin. This match, I don't think there was much to write home about. I think this was one of those matches where we're like, all right, is it over yet?
I like this match personally.
Which match?
I'm a fan of Naomi.
You said that there was something on this card. Now that I'm reading through it, that made you go, "All right, we done yet?" This card wasn't that bad.
I must have been mistaken. I was thinking
because we're almost to the end here, and I thought this match was good too.
I was trying to remember, okay, but no, this was a good show.
Yeah. Naomi, Tiffany Stratton picking up the win. Naomi makes sense. With Tiffany, it doesn't matter if she wins or loses. She still got that briefcase.
Yeah, it's wrestling booking 101. You got to beat down the person who holds the ability to win the title at any point to make her cash and seem all that much more grand.
Yeah, agreed. Up next, Jacob Fatu with the mic in hand. Well, mic in hand, but cutting promo on behalf of the Bloodline, saying that everyone in the Bloodline loves the tribal chief and everyone must acknowledge him. Before we get to the main event, we see Nia Jax confronting Tiffany backstage, telling her she better not pull a fast one on her, while Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley were ripe for the picking. So you're obsessed. Yeah, the bruise. I've been there. Like, where the hell did that come from? Main event time. WWE Tag Team Championship Triple Threat match. Bloodline, Street Profits, and DIY. This match was expected. A couple of crazy spots, crazy back and forth, but it saw the Bloodline retaining those titles. And of all people, it was the infamous Tonga Loa who climbed the ladder to pull the titles down. He didn't botch it. He didn't botch it. He did. People were very critical of how he pulled the titles down, dude. You were one of them. You weren't the only one. The IWC was
Fucking
like,
weird.
why didn't you just grab all the titles down? He grabbed the hook with the titles on him, but that's how Cena grabbed it when they unified the titles in Orton. I've always thought that's how you grabbed it. I don't know.
No.
When it's one title, yeah, but you grab two. I don't know. What did you think of the match though?
All I could think of was Tonga's gonna fall off the top of that thing.
But the match itself, good.
Great match.
Yeah.
Great match. Just fun. It's what you expect from a ladder match. I mean, it's not Jeff Hardy, Dudley, Edge, and Christian ladder match quality, but it's up there. This was fun.
Well, yeah, they weren't gonna be able to, match that level on a SmackDown, but you had your spots from Montez Ford. Angelo Dawkins looked really good in this match too, as he always does. And I love DIY, but do you kind of wish they took the titles off the Bloodline, or are we okay with this?
No,
I
still
feel
story. Still story.
Okay. That's SmackDown. That is the final SmackDown before we head to Bad Blood. We're gonna go ahead and bring up this screen here, covering up Drew and Punk. To close things out, really, this is Bad Blood Premium Live event from Atlanta, Georgia. We have the hosts, and apparently, by the way, this was on Netflix in Brazil. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did. I just didn't think to bring it up because
it wasn't.
Who gives a shit?
It wasn't, but I looked at my notes and it's right here. The show main event, as we saw, was Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes taking on the Bloodline. But we opened things with, or I guess we talk about the video package featuring Cody Rhodes and Metro Boomin. The host of the show welcome the audience to, and we get Corey Graves and Michael Cole on the call for the night. And we kick things off with as we alluded to, a fucking banger of a match. Hell in a Cell match. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre. CM Punk picks up the win with the GTS with a chain wrapped around his knee, but that's just the finish. RK, what stood out to you most in this match? Let's talk about it. Punk, Drew, they put on a classic.
Yeah, man, that was literally a war. I would say Punk survived rather than won. It was going to be basically, last man standing in that match. Blood, wow. Punk was absolutely covered in blood for a point there. When he was basically lawn darted into the cage by Drew. And then Drew got cut open with the toolbox shot. Drew ended up getting 15 stitches in the top of his head after that match. Supposedly from that toolbox shot. I thought at first, he probably had time to blade. Maven showed great ways to hide gimmick. He's been doing his podcasts where he gives away a lot of the secrets that they do. But he showed the way that he would hide his blade in his wrist tape, and it's right there, easy. You can use it in like half a second, and it's done, right? But after seeing where Drew got those stitches, top of his head, so I'm starting to think, he probably got legit busted open because it was right away, and it's kind of hard to blade across the top of your head. That's a little obvious. So either or, that was a lot of blood from Drew, and man, then the Claymore that Punk dived out of the way of, and then Drew basically broke his back on the steps, was just like,
that moment. Cringe. I cringed. I tensed up. I can feel that.
Yeah, absolute war. 31 minutes 15 seconds this went. Punk, he can still go, man. Nothing says that Punk won't be going for a while yet. Because this match was great. They both they opened the show, and honestly, having an opening like this is you want a strong opener, but you don't want this strong of an opener because the rest of the show can't match. It just can't. It
And they
simply
didn't.
cannot. This should have
They
been
didn't.
the main event.
Yep, nothing matched this. Nothing matched this. Punk, after he won, going to the back was he was stumbling everywhere, had to stop, and medics came out. Still don't know if that was part of it or what was going on, but
That's
yeah,
just Punk. I think that's just Punk doing his
selling like the
damn
man he is.
showing the war that he just went to. And honestly, in true WWE fashion, they do something better than AEW can. They did the oxygen mask shot better than AEW did.
Mm-hmm. So there it is. CM Punk picks up the win, apparently putting a end to him and Drew. That was slated to be the end of the rivalry, and we will see what happens next between the two. We get a shot of quite a few people in the crowd. We have Killer Mike, Metro Boomin, Little Baby, WWE Hall of Famer Bill Goldberg. We'll get to him more in a minute. Lillian Garcia, Jacqueline, Booker T, showing off all the stars. Jade Cargill and Naomi and Bianca Belair are interviewed by Kathy Kelly in the VIP suite. Pete Rosenberg, X-Pac, Diamond Dallas Page, Jey Uso, Mickey James, all up there. Cargill and Belair said they looked forward to Liv Morgan facing Rhea Ripley. Naomi said she would be keeping an eye and pulling for Bayley against Nia Jax. Bianca says in a very sarcastic, I wish her the best of luck. Still beef there. Bianca didn't like Bayley from Bayley's time as the leader of Damage Control. And I like that. I like that storytelling still. Really, really good for you. WWE Women's Championship match. Nia Jax, Bayley. Nia Jax is going to retain here with a little help from Tiffany Stratton with a distraction as she came down, but there was more to it. I really thought they were going to pull the trigger here. We talked about it after we watched SmackDown. I was really hoping Tiffany was going to actually really cash in. She doesn't. Tiffany distracted Bayley by throwing the briefcase at her, and Bayley caught it, threw it out, leading to the the Annihilator for the 1-2-3. We had the spot where it looked like Tiffany was going to give the briefcase to Jessica Carr. Jessica Carr took a wild bump where she was like squashed by Nia. And Nia set up. I didn't know this, Arcade. Nia Jax is the Undertaker.
Yeah, she is.
Nia Jax set up like the Undertaker, catching Tiffany red-handed, acting like she was going to cash in. She doesn't. Nia picks up the win. What did you think of the match and all the shenanigans involved with it?
One, Nia Jax. I mean, she's leaps and bounds better than she was 3-4 years ago, but she still ain't that great.
Yeah, agreed.
I do like her character, her persona, everything. Her in-ring work is just never going to be. Why are we trying to do a Hurricanrana, Nia?
I was
Why?
gonna avoid it.
Bayley, thank God you sold that like a champ, but that was horrible.
Yes.
This match just kind of sucked because, and I love Bayley. We all know that. She wasn't winning this match from the outgo. It was all about the setup. They made the setup for Tiffany the big fucking story of this whole match. The is she going to cash in? Is she not going to cash in? Bayley just was going through the motions, and she tried so hard, but I mean,
be my girl. Sorry, you
had to. There's not a lot of talent in the locker room that's going to make a Nia match look good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I the hope was it was Jade, right? After the Royal Rumble spot with Nia, the hope was Jade was going to be that one. Bianca's makes sense, but other than that, who is it besides the cash in? Charlotte Flair?
Well, no, I'm saying that in the end, it's still going to be a Nia match, and they aren't great. They just aren't.
Oh, who can make Nia look good? Charlotte.
It's still Nia, though.
I agree.
She's not a good wrestler.
And Bayley, I put Bayley on par with Charlotte, and you're right. I mean, Bayley had to carry, and Charlotte the same way. Those two, Bayley and Charlotte, are the best women in the world at what they do, and it's tough. It's really tough. And yes, please, Nia, kudos for attempting a top rope Hurricane Rana, but don't ever do that shit again. Please don't ever do that again because that was rough. Even the
and
Samoan
also
drop,
bad book. And also, that Samoan drop was horrible.
because we
Good
thought it was
Lord.
like a modified Famouser type deal from Bailey, and they pushed it off as it was a Samoan drop. Yeah, that was rough. But yeah, bad booking.
Also bad booking because you're going to follow your Hell in a Cell match with historically not a great wrestler in Nia, and historically women's matches have a hard time living up to the men's matches.
To be fair, I think whatever you put after this, you were in trouble. Damien and Finn, which we're about to get into, Damien and Finn would have been a good follow.
Damien and Finn would have been a great follow-up.
Let's get into that then. Damian Priest, Finn Balor, they just put on a hard-hitting fucking banger of a match here. Damian's gonna get the win with the South of Heaven choke slam. But yeah, what'd you think of this match? That hard-hitting is what comes to mind.
You brought up the point. Is like, are we watching a New Japan match right now?
Yeah,
it was stiff. It was very stiff. There was a couple shots there where I'm like either they said to each other before the match, "Hey, just hit me as hard as you can. Just watch out for certain parts of the face." Or Damian Priest fucked up a couple spots because that one punch when Finn came off the top rope and you just heard that crack. I'm just like, oh god, damn.
Echoed.
Hard-hitting match. It's not like it was a 5-star match, but my god, these two. What happened needed to happen. The interference, Damian just shrugged it off, and beat Finn. The ending seemed a little abrupt. The match only came at 12 minutes and 50 seconds, which was actually shorter than the women's match prior. So I know they were in a time crunch. They started an hour early, and the UFC and everything, and they knew what was going to be happening in the main event and all that stuff. And I think like this match maybe got cut short because the ending seemed abrupt.
Yeah, we'll get to a bad ending here in just a second. But before we do that, we get a shot of X-Pac and Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson in the crowd for the match. Triple H comes to the ring to make a historic announcement. He announces the gate of 16,092 people was the largest gate ever in the city of Atlanta. And then we get the unveiling that in partnership with Saudi Arabia. Pause.
Triple H, you probably didn't pick up on it. You probably didn't, but did you? Triple H was in WCW for a very short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought up about his time in WCW when he was terrorizing the
Oh, he lived right down the road. Yeah. That was.
But no. When he was in WCW and he was terrorizing WCW.
Right.
His name in WCW was Terra Rising.
I did not catch that when it happened. I didn't even think of that. You're right. Holy shit. I was trying to lead into it because before he said he lived right down the road.
Yeah, well,
and then he said that. Then he said that. I did not catch that. Holy shit. I forgot his name was. I knew he had the terrorizing gimmick, but it just skipped my mind when we were watching it. Now you bring it up, that's fucking hilarious. That's good. That's good shit. He announces that in partnership with Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, which, by the way, not a big reaction to that. There was actually some like, oh, okay. People have not been fond of the Saudi Arabia partnership, but I am in the camp of it is what it is.
Money.
It's money, so deal with it. Unveils the 2024 Crown Jewel Championship. This is going to be a recurring thing at Crown Jewel. It is a big ass, a big belt with a bunch of diamonds, gold. What did he say? A lot of 5-carat on that, or whatever. Triple H said
50 carats of diamond.
Yeah. And it is a championship that will be disputed between the current champions at that time from the men's and women's side, the WWE champions and the world champions. And that'll take place. That is coming up on November 2nd in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And the winner gets that title. Do they parade that around for a year? And do they have to give it back if there's new champions? I guess we need a little clarification on that. Or is there just a new one every year?
Well, what's that belt in AEW that you win once a year in a tournament?
It's Okada's.
Okay, yeah. Similar to that, but without defending it during the year. I don't know.
A
Or
part of
they
me
only
feels like
hold it. But
if you win it, you just get it. Like, congratulations, this is yours. We have enough money. We'll have another one made for next year's.
probably.
That's kind of where I was going with it. Maybe.
Also, I hate to agree with AEW fans, but my God, that looks like the international title.
I think it shines, but I think it's kind of ugly.
It's
It's
gross.
horrible. It's horrible looking. I'm not gonna lie to you. So that was rough. But this sparks Gunther.
The big thing is we're getting champion versus champion for men and women's at Crown Jewel, and that should be fun. Should be fun. That'll be fun.
That used to be not that for a brief period. They did that at Survivor Series, and I remember I told you about. You weren't watching during this period. They did, and they had NXT being a part of Survivor Series, and they did triple threat matches of the main champions, and that was some really good shit when they did those. So, yeah,
realistically, really cool. In those two matches, you should have the best going against it. Now, unfortunately, it's going to be Nia versus Liv, which I can't see that being a good match. Period. But we do have the potential Cody Rhodes versus Gunther.
Will it be Nia versus
Cody Rhodes versus Sammy? I don't think Tiffy cashes in on TV.
Oh my God.
She cashes in at Crown Jewel.
Or, hear me out. Probably not. This is actually, now that I sit here and think about what's going on, probably not. But a part of me just thought, what if she cashes in on Liv on TV and it's Liv versus Nia, or Tiffy versus Nia? But I don't think that'll work. I think you're right. I think it's going to be Nia Liv, and maybe she does cash in. Wait, but if she cashes in at Crown Jewel, what is she cashing in for? Which one does she choose? Or is she just the undisputed women's champion of the world?
Both women's champions are there.
Or they just give her cash. They just give her the big gold thing they just made. Here you go, Tiff. You guys are still champions.
Seriously, think about it. Both the champions are there. They both wrestle. Whoever's the most beat up, you cash in on.
Whoever she pins that's the title she gets. Okay. Yeah. Liv versus Nia.
It's not gonna be a good match.
We'll get to Rhea Liv in a minute. Now it makes me really wish it was Rhea. Rhea Nia.
I love Liv. I love Liv, but she's not the most fantastic wrestler in the world either.
No. Rhea versus Nia.
But the big thing here is you got Cody versus Gunther potential, and Cody versus Sammy potential.
It's Cody Gunther. Let's be real.
Hold up.
I know.
Goldberg could fucking interfere tomorrow.
Let's talk about it. Gunther comes out and says he looks forward to winning another title. That title, the big gold one. Then he calls out Goldberg and calls him a one-trick pony and hopes that he's a better father to his son than he was a professional wrestler. He's so good at this shit, man. And this sparks Goldberg to leap the barricade and attempt to chase down Gunther. He gets surrounded by security. They don't allow that to happen. But from behind, Sammy attacks Gunther. Gunther and Sammy brawl, and then an army of security guards separate them, building for their Monday Night Raw title match. I mean, and then I read, I didn't watch it, but Triple H kind of hinted that maybe Goldberg Gunther have a match at the press conference. It was overshadowed by the other, questions, but do you really think Goldberg is gonna? I don't know. I really don't.
It'd be a swerve.
Listen, Goldberg's not good. He's not.
No, but
he doesn't need.
He is perpetually one of the biggest fan favorites of all time.
Yeah, it's Goldberg. The crowd loves chanting Goldberg. But that last match he had, was it The Undertaker? Was that his last match?
What, during COVID?
What was Goldberg's last match? I don't remember what Goldberg's last match was. Now that I sit here and
wasn't he feuding with
Well, he was the champion, and did Braun Strowman beat him?
No, Goldberg had a recent match. I've watched it, so it's been within the last 3 years.
Oh, it was Roman. It was Roman.
When was that?
Maybe it wasn't.
Oh,
Yeah,
Elimination Chamber, February 2022.
he
Yeah, it's
lost in
during COVID.
6. Yeah, he lost in 6 minutes.
Or it was just after COVID. Yeah, it was a quick match and it was stupid.
Yeah. Okay, so that was Goldberg's last match. I don't know. Because for some reason, the match that comes to mind is that one that he had in Saudi with the Undertaker. You remember that one?
No.
Or no? Who was it? Who was it when Goldberg fucked himself up by hitting his head on a locker? Who was that match against?
I don't know.
I'll have to look that up afterwards. I don't want to spend too much time on it. But was Gunther wrong? One trick pony.
Well, yeah, he has a one trick pony.
Have you maybe you mentioned this, or maybe I just saw it scrolling through TikTok. William Regal talking about his match he had with Goldberg. Have you seen that? Where
Nope.
Regal got a bunch. It was in WCW, and Regal got a bunch of like flack from Goldberg saying he was, Regal was embarrassing Goldberg. The network told him to put on a like 13-minute match or something, and Goldberg had only gone like 5 minutes in his run to WCW. As we all know, it was the simple jackhammer spear, blah blah blah, 1 2 3, Goldberg wins. And Regal was doing, according to Regal, everything he could to get Goldberg to do other things, and it looked like Regal was just beating the shit out of Goldberg until Goldberg got the win with his finish. And Goldberg, I guess, was like he was trying to embarrass.
Oh yeah, I've seen this before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, oh well, that adds up. But yeah, leading hype for Gunther and Sami Zayn. We get Scott Steiner, Mickie James, and Diamond Dallas Page. They were spotted in the crowd. And this made me raise a question. Scott Steiner and DDP, they are WWE Hall of Famers. Mickie James not a WWE Hall of Famer? I think she should be.
Should she be?
I think she should be.
What's her accomplishments?
She was the forefront. She wasn't the main for changing things in WWE, but I liked her, when she burst.
I remember her being strongly part of the Divas era.
Do you remember her obsession with Trish Stratus? That one, like she was obsessed with Trish going into their WrestleMania match. You don't remember that? Maybe you stopped watching during that period. That was really good. I think Mickie should get in, but I could be wrong. But Mickey's great. She's definitely TNA Hall of Famer. They should probably put her in that one. Kathy Kelly interviews Bianca, Jade, and Naomi, but they get interrupted because they all go, "The hell's that smell?" Chelsea Green, apparently, she showered, but she apparently still got some stench on her. They told her she had to leave and take a shower, and Chelsea went to leave. Said, "Good, I don't want to be here anyway. Come on, Piper." But they let Piper stay. Piper had a good time hanging out in the VIP area. Chelsea Green, just every time we say it, fantastic.
Can't miss.
All right. Women's World Championship match. Dominic Mysterio inside a shark cage. This was a botch finish. Simple as that. The match itself was pretty good up until the botch. Rhea was really kind of in charge the whole time. Raquel Rodriguez returned to lay out Ripley. Reports are coming that she came out earlier than she was supposed to.
There was reported today that she came out early. So the finish was she came out. She was supposed to come out, attack Ripley, attack Ripley, then put Liv on Ripley for the pin. That's the finish. That was supposed to be the finish. What happened was she came out early. The ref clearly saw her attacking Rhea and was left like he even tried his best. Like he was, I don't know what the fuck that ref was doing, but he's like looking at the ring. Then he turns around and walks to Dom after he told Rhea she could beat up Dom. You deserve that minute on the ref cam. And then he tries to stop Rhea, then walks back, then tries to turn his back, but clearly he sees everything, and he has to ring the bell because he has to. At that point, it's like the crowd will lose their shit if he didn't call the DQ at that point. And then Raquel, I bless her heart, but you don't hear the bell ringing. Like, why would you still put Liv on Rhea?
So I assume the ref was going after Rhea did her shit with Dom, beating the shit out of him. The ref was
Was
supposed
going
to
to
go
go
over
out.
there and be like, all right, we got to figure out what the hell's going on. Dom's hanging by his leg here. We probably should get this figured out.
Cool spot, by
Distracted.
the way. Cool
Yeah,
spot.
I was scared for a second. I was like, oh shit, chill. Distracted with Dom, like, all right, we got to get him down. And that's when Raquel should have grabbed up Rhea, took her out, and then put Liv on top. The ref would have came back in and been 1-2-3. But yeah, it was a botched finish. No contest is what it was kind of listed as, but DQ win for Rhea.
Oh,
Title didn't change
fuck
hands.
Fightful and no contest.
It's a DQ.
DQ.
Title
Stop
didn't
trying
change
to
hands.
fucking UFC this shit.
Rhea gets the win. Anyway, main event time. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes taking on the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Man, this match was so. There's slow build, and then there's the build of come on, let's go. This was very, 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 very slow, and then it wasn't, and then we got the finish. I mean, it was rough.
I think so. I
Or
think it was a
maybe,
mixture. I think it was
yep.
a mixture of a lot of things. One,
Good.
that really
Start from-
fucked up finish.
Start from the finish. Yeah, okay, there you go. Sorry. I thought you were going into what you're
Really-
about to go into. I thought you were going into
Really
that.
fucked up finish of the Rhea Liv match. That, like, what the fuck just happened? Into it being like 4:00, 4:30 in the morning for you, 1:30 in the morning for me. Tired as is, and then a really, really, really slow start to the match. I get it, building up the tension.
You
all that
missed.
stuff.
No. You missed another part that kind of made us go, "What the fuck are we doing?" The entrances obviously are slow. When
Oh
you
god,
have,
the 25 minutes
there
of
it is.
entrances and
And
that
Cody.
fucking marching band that was absolute garbage. And you're
Oh,
like, oh, these
God.
guys went viral. I'm like, for what?
They did.
Sucking?
They went viral at a football game playing Cody's theme, but then they tried to like mesh it with the audio from the actual song, and God, it was horrible. Roman's entrance, you know how long that takes. It's Roman. And then yeah, the match was just so slow. You had your pops when the tag was made to Roman and Roman came back and this, that, and the other. But we'll just go ahead and get into this.
The last like 5-6 minutes of this match, it really picked up.
Yep.
Thank God.
Yep.
But it should have picked up after like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It shouldn't have been a 25-minute match. They probably could have got away with like a 15-minute match, probably. It's a tag match. Come on.
And it worked with all the stuff that happened in those 5 to 6 minutes at the end. Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga show up to interfere, obviously. The thing get laid out by a man in a bandana, and it was the return of Jimmy Uso. We prayed for Jimmy.
And he came back.
Solo, of course, confused about what just happened, leading to Roman Reigns hitting a spear on Solo. If you're wondering what was going on with Cody, he gave a salute to Roman to finish the match as he put Jacob Fatu through the announce table with a wild ass dive. Roman hits a spear on Solo for the 1-2-3, the win.
Cody again proving that he's that guy.
Yeah, he is. For that, I was like, oh my God. And he got up there. And he, on those moments, they don't normally, some do, Montez can do it, but instead of jumping from the turnbuckle, they go on top of the stanchion little part and jump from there, which
it's a
just
solid
gives you
footing.
It's just a little more height.
It's not so much the distance, but it's a solid base to jump from.
Yeah.
The rope moves, so you're gonna not get that full extension to get that distance.
Roman hits the spear on Solo for the win. Him and Jimmy embrace, and this, looking back at scrolling through, man, this is how good Roman is with his facial expressions. This is a man that thinks he lost everything. They took everything from him, and finally somebody's back, and it's Jimmy who's still on his team and got his back, and they embrace. They go to leave, but the Bloodline in the background is attacking Cody Rhodes, and Jimmy and Roman are looking at it, and Jimmy's saying, you're the OTC, you're the tribal chief, I follow you, let's help him, but if you don't want to, like, I got your back. And then they do. They come make the save and get the Bloodline up out of there. Roman picks up the WWE Championship, stares at it for a second, does hand it to Cody Rhodes, and then as Cody Rhodes raises it up, The Rock, his music hits, The Rock returns, and all we get is a Dwayne The Rock Johnson stare down with an eyebrow raise at Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns to end the show. That's how we go off air with Bad Blood. There was some footage that went out of The Rock backstage leaving. Sure you saw it, him cutting through the trailers, looking at Stone Cold saying, "That's my guy. We'll have a beer and tequila later." He saw Dusty Rhodes saying, "One of my heroes. I love you. I hate your son." And then glancing over at the picture of John Cena saying, "Oh, go eat some Fruity Pebbles." And also, we must include this was really cool. Off air, social media really is where we get it. Kevin Owens turned on Cody Rhodes, beating him down in front of Cody's tour bus in front of the fans. This was all captured on social media. This was a really cool aspect. Very interesting how they did it. A lot of fallout from Bad Blood, and we got to wait for SmackDown to get more answers. But I kind of just ran through it there. But what are you thinking from this main event and all the shenanigans and whatnot that happened?
So yeah, The Rock coming out, obviously. It's interesting. You're wondering where this is going because he was almost glaring at Roman, like, "What are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same time, counting three, symbolizing, "Hey, Cody, I pinned you for three."
He did the
Um,
1, 2, 3, and then he did the net
so
knife neck.
it's interesting to see where this goes. They're setting up war games. How they're going to get there exactly is going to be interesting. Where The Rock sits in all this is most interesting because he's not going to side with Solo, but
He could.
because
He could
he
start
looked
this.
pissed at Roman, and he obviously doesn't like Cody. We all know this.
Yeah,
He
I
did
love
promise Cody that he'd be coming back for him. All this shit. All that aside, it does makes you enticed to go, oh, SmackDown, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Now the after moment, Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, a lot of people are asking, "Hey, why wasn't this on the show?" That would make that WWE purposely did this way because they wanted to create a viral moment for social
Mhm.
media, let the fans record it and go, "Holy shit,"
Yeah.
and then get
And
it out on social media that way, get it out to the masses quickly that way, so everyone could see it, not just people watching the PLE.
mhm.
Also, it was reported that Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes were just told, "Hey, you guys figure this out. Get out there, do it."
And apparently something like this similar happened obviously way back in the day, and this wasn't social media era, but Dusty Rhodes, the same thing happened in the tag match where Dusty teamed with his arch rival, and the same thing happened in the parking lot with Dusty, and I'm spacing who he was with at the time. But they kind of recreated that. But yeah, I'm ready for SmackDown now. I'm ready for Raw. Raw 2 hours. NXT on the CW. St.
Raw is
Louis.
only 2 hours with all. It's just gonna be banner matches. Jesus.
Yeah, it may now be like not that last hour of Raw where you're like, oh, here we go, hour 3.
Uh, hmm.
Some people like
Raw.
it, some people
Rare.
don't.
I rarely got bored
Yeah.
of Raw.
All right. Well, with all that, let's talk about it. What was your show of the week, RK? I think we're going to be on the same page here.
NXT.
Yeah, NXT for me too. It stood out. They killed it on their debut on the CW, and every match was good, and all of it in between. I was a big fan. Wrestler of the week though,
It's a tie.
a tie. All
It's a
right,
tie.
what's your tie? What's your tie?
You can't give it to either one of these because they both went to war and
Yep,
knocked out the one of the best matches in probably the last 5 years of wrestling. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre.
I can't disagree with you. I was thinking the same thing. I'm gonna give the edge to Punk just because he was on NXT 2 doing his thing as a referee. But no, I can't. I can't truly be serious when saying that. Punk and Drew deserve all of it. They really do. They killed it, put on a classic Hell in a Cell match, and yeah. Now I'm just excited. Let's see what comes. The fallout from Bad Blood is going to be real, and the fallout. St. Louis NXT. We'll see what happens with that, and we'll see if AEW can figure it out, I suppose. But other than that, before we get out of here, we have a new outro video that RK produced. We'll get to that in a second. But any final thoughts? And what are we looking forward to? Cool. I haven't watched it yet. I'm excited to see what you put together here. your outro video.
Oh, I was like, what are we looking for? What the fuck are you talking about? We're looking forward to the week of wrestling coming up.
Of course, of course.
Um,
Yeah.
Toolboxes, they hurt.
They do hurt. With that being said, that's it for us here on the Top Rope Renegades this week in wrestling. Oh,
Also, side thought, that one spot with Drew McIntyre, landing on the steps there. I honestly hope that he missed that spot, because if he planned for that to happen, that man is an absolute fucking maniac.
yeah. Maybe he was supposed to go full back on it. Maybe, I don't know. That's crazy to think about. We'll see. That's it here from Top Rope Renegades. That was This Week in Wrestling, episode number 24. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will talk to you guys next week.